out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
It's gonna be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing if my burglar alarm starts ringing.
What's good? You are tuned in to Apartment 5B podcast, hosted by your man Kel. I got my squad with me in effect as always. We got the mayor of Queens, New York in the building. So happy to have him here, taking a minute away from his out here kissing babies and shaking hands out in the borough. What's going on, Kel?
Always good to be here, Kel. Always good to be here.
No doubt. I love the background. It's Queens, it's Morgan. He's the mayor of both. I don't know how you do it in two totally different states. It's amazing, bro. And then we got my man. I had to call this dude today. I was like, dog, I ain't heard from you. I ain't seen you. I don't know what's going on. You want to strike with Porsche. I get it. I don't pay a lot. You know what I mean? But we got my brother Vern back on with us. What's going on, baby?
What's going on, good people, man? Glad to be in the number one more time, man.
All right, no doubt. Kel, we already, if you watch enough, my man Kel is the king of not only hip-hop t-shirts, record label t-shirts too. A&M. The first artist that comes to mind with me with A&M is Janet's Control Out. That's like, I just remember that 12-inch. I remember the label. Talk a little bit about A&M, Kel.
A&M Records. So, like you said, Janet, Herb Albert started A&M Records.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, so Herb Albert.
This is why I love this show, because I had no idea Herb started, but it would make sense because of the trumpet.
Yeah.
What you gonna say, Herb?
I got another story about Herb Albert because I listened to a podcast with Jimmy Jam, and he said, man, when Optimistic came out, Herb just walked into his office and was just crying. He said, man, I've been sitting in the car listening to this song, and I'm just so proud that this type of music is coming out on my label. Thank you, Jimmy Jam.
That's dope. For people who are watching, who may not be familiar, Sounds of Blackness, Optimistic. Me and Nate made a mixtape because Nate, my job, working with kids in the hood, it could get stressful, and Nate kind of would ask questions here and there. And she came up with a playlist of just songs that make me smile. And Optimistic is definitely one of those joints. I don't care what kind of mood I'm in. If you put on Optimistic, I mean, it's just an incredible song. So that's dope to hear that, Herb Albert felt that way. Y'all know me. Let's jump right into it. This week, we are chopping it up about the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. Now, most people know that Tribe got in, last week to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And it's dope, very big deal. It's a beautiful thing. But I always still feel like it's us trying to get down with them. You know what I mean? Again, it's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It has nothing to do with hip hop. It's love that they're inviting us in, but I kind of feel like it's like some old back in the 60s type shit where it's like, okay, it's white owned, we gonna let y'all sit at the counter, we gonna ease y'all into the school district, but we really don't want y'all here type thing. So I mean, I feel like, it's 50 years, it's time that we have our own. So we're gonna be talking about groups that get into the hip hop and the R&B Hall of Fame. Now, what I did was, I'm gonna link the show down below. We did a show called There's Levels to This. And that show got started because some cat from this group called Living Legends felt some kind of way that I didn't know who Boy was. And he was like, yo, we the Living Legends. I'm like, and people were talking to me and I'm like, dog, you sound like a local legend. You know what I mean? And of course, Boy got offended. Now, here's the thing that I've learned in life. Being called a legend, any kind of legend to me, is a salute. It's a compliment. People have told Kel, people have said, Kel, you a legend in Baltimore. What you did with 889 and the radio station, I love that. I never looked at myself as that. It's beautiful that people think that. Now, maybe if I thought I was as big as Stretch and Bob, and somebody tells me you a Baltimore legend, now I feel some kind of way because I think I'm bigger than what the compliment somebody's giving me. But at the end of the day, y'all, I'm giving you a compliment. So the show that we did was like, again, there's levels to this. And we kind of looked at like NBA Live. You got your Hall of Fame, your Superstar, your All-Star. And we kind of broke down like what each person needed to be on each tier or whatever like that. So what I did was I took some of those tiers from that show, brought it over here to say like, hey, these are what groups need to get into the Hall of Fame. Now, again, for people watching, this is all in real time. There's gonna be some, I want some feedback, I want some pushback. I couldn't do this, Kill, or I didn't like that one, or should we add this one? And then on the R&B front, I had a harder time, and we're gonna get into that. So we're gonna do a lot of talking tonight. But let's look at what we were talking about. Number one, the first thing I had to do was we're not including people who have gotten to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because to me they're already there. So that's Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, Jay-Z, Run DMC, LL, Biggie, Tribe, Tupac, NWA, P.E., Beastie Boys, and Eminem. First things first, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I didn't even know all those people were in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Did y'all?
I did know.
Yeah. All right, Kel knew. Vern, what about you? Did you know all those people were in there?
I didn't know all of those people were there. I knew some of them, like DMC, even though I still wrote them on my list. And I knew the Beastie Boys were. And I knew Eminem was because he quoted stuff.
Right, that whole speech. I think I knew Run, I knew Tribe, and I knew him. You know what I mean? So
I knew L too, right? Yeah.
I don't even think I knew L.
Okay.
I don't even think I knew L. Because again, I'm on some Fife type shit. You know, I never let a statue tell me how nice I am. So I don't think I've ever even paid attention to these, you know, the inductees. It was just like we said, Tribe just got in. So it was kind of like, oh, okay. So that's number one. We're not doing that. And then two, I wanted to talk a little bit about the eligibility for different things. Because if people don't know, I like to do my homework. So I'm like, okay, boom. Number one, what is the NBA's eligibility to get into the Hall of Fame? So they said you got to be retired for four full seasons, and you can be considered at the fifth year of your retirement. But here's the funny thing, Kelv. I was shocked. Like, I'm like, that's it? Like, it ain't no, you got to have at least 3 All-Star appearances. You got to lead the league and something. Like, I was like, that's all you got to do?
I follow that. Obviously, I follow sports, all the sports. The NBA is considered the easiest Hall of Fame. There's always people griping about cats that making the Hall. They're always like, he don't belong in the Hall of Fame. Every year, someone says it. Every year.
And it's just bugged me because I'm like, that's it? Like, I'm Googling, I'm keeping it going. And then I went to the NFL. NFL is a little harder. It says retired for at least 5 seasons. And a player must have received at least one postseason honor, such as a Pro Bowl invite, All-Pro team selection, or an annual award from the Associated Press. And the player must have at least played 5 full seasons. You know what I mean? So I at least felt like, okay, now we building on something now. Because with the NBA, I feel like it's just like, did you play? If you was in the NBA, you're eligible for the Hall of Fame. That's all you had to do was, you had a contract, cool, you could get in. And someone had also said something about being a consistent success at your position. Like that should be something that should be looked at. So are you a consistent success? Hell, Calv, I'm still pissed Rod Strickland and again, it ain't get an All-Star, was never an All-Star game. I feel like that's highway Rod.
That's crazy.
Rod Strickland has never been an All-Star, which is insanity to me. Crazy. Veg, what's going on, fam?
What's up, y'all?
Man, everything good.
Hey man, I'm slow, babe. It took me to Portia commented on your tweet to realize that was your face on Bruce Lee.
Yeah, that just came out so crazy. I watch it like every year. Like that shit looks funny.
Nah, John was funny, and I needed that today, bro. So here the thing. So we talked about those eligibilities. So what we came up with was you gotta be, I swear everything is bugging out on me today. The computer's tripping out, my iPad. Okay. Impact / your legacy. Classic albums, at least 2. Because I felt, and again, Veg, we're just kind of talking. So like, push back. Did you think this was too much? Because I feel like one classic album, it's kind of like, to me, if you make one All-Star Squad, that ain't saying a lot, because it could have been a down year, you know, like, you gotta at least make two to me, like, to show me that, like, you really thorough like that. So, two classic albums, and then I said you could have two classic songs if we're dealing with prior to 1988, because a lot of times people didn't have label deals, so if you're pulling on somebody from before 88, they can have two classic songs: Originality, Longevity, and if you can have some classic songs. Veg, how did you feel about that? Did you feel like we were missing anything? Did you feel like something needed to be, you know, something was too much, one classic album was enough? What did you think about, like, the setup?
No, I think that works, because honestly, when you think about, let's just use like two classic albums, it's fair, right? You could have a classic album and just never be able to even come close to that. Not even just classic, but do anything else good after that, you know. And like, it's like you said, when you think about some dudes who had like an excellent season, you thought, okay, he hit his peak and now he's going to be this player, but then they turn around and become the player they were the previous year. So
right.
I think it's fair, because honestly, you got to have some standards. And I've been to the Basketball Hall of Fame, and you know, I think a lot of people who've never been there think it's you know, who was great, how many championships and blah blah blah, but you go in there and it's a lot of people who had impact on the game itself, whether it was at the high school level or just early on before the NBA and ABA. So to me, that made more sense, because I'm like, oh, this is dope. This is about basketball. You know what I'm saying? Right. Not accomplishments. So.
And that's a good point too, because it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame. Right. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame. Kel, what about you? What did you think about this criteria?
I thought it was fair too. I thought and it was tough. So which is good. It's funny. I know you're not a baseball fan, but the baseball Hall of Fame is considered the hardest Hall of Fame to get into.
Okay.
There's so much, like you said. I don't know if they have a criteria, but it's like you gotta be. Your numbers gotta jump off the page. It's like if I gotta second guess it, then you're not getting in. You know, if I gotta think about it, it should be like a no-brainer. Like, yo, Hank Aaron, oh, no-brainer. Willie Mays, no-brainer. You know, something like that. So, I thought the criteria was good. I thought it made sense to put, you know, have a level of consistency and excellence. So I thought it was good.
Right. Vern, I'm glad you're here, because one of the quotes I love from you is that everybody don't get in the Hall of Fame. It's not special if everybody gets in. What's so special about it is that everybody doesn't get in. Naomi's in college now. She is in the honors dorm. The honors dorm looks like an apartment complex. I'm like, yo, this is fly as hell, you know. Yet there are other people on the campus who don't got AC. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like everybody don't get into the honors dorm. You know what I mean? So everybody can't get into the hall, and it should be that hard. You shouldn't want everybody to just walk in like the NBA. Like I said, if you just had a rookie contract, you're eligible. And I'm like, no. Like, you know, when you look for a job, it's like you be looking for a job and you be like, damn, they want somebody with a doctorate. Well, guess I'm out. Like, you know, you want to be able to, everybody can't get in. It's not special. Vern, talk a little bit about that quote that you always talk about, man.
Yeah, also another quote I heard from a guy I listened to on Sports Talk. He said, it's not the hall of the very good. You know, I mean, Dale Murphy is not in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Which is a shame. He should be in.
Yes, yeah, but I mean, that lets you know it's levels. I mean, you gotta get up there, man. So, you know, it has to be exclusive, because if it's not, then why even have the club?
Right.
You know,
right.
It's like that. That's that participation. You know, everybody's a winner. Everybody get a trophy now.
Bro, I hate that, man. I'll never forget. Naomi didn't get a trophy for a dance competition, and my mom was like, well, I'm gonna just go out and buy a trophy. I was like, no, you not. Like, we ain't doing that. No, she's gonna work harder. You know, she really want that dance trophy. We are not buying trophies. I despise that, because I believe it made people stop working hard. Because it's like, yo, back in our day, it was a trophy, 2 ribbons, first, second, and third. That's it. The rest of y'all come back next year and try hard. And if you really wanted that trophy, that's what you did. You worked harder, and then you tried again. And I feel like nowadays, all 100 people who signed up get a trophy, and then it's just like, well, what's the point of trying harder? Because I got the prize already. You know what I mean? So I definitely feel that. All right, let's get started, y'all. The first person I'm going with is Schoolie D. I'm going with Schoolie D out of Philly. And two, I want to thank Vegas too, because we were having a lot of conversations offline. Because when it was just like, I think with the NFL, it's like you had to play at least 5 full seasons. I'm like, so vague. Do we got to put how many years you was in it? But then he was like, what about big? And so, you know, there were a lot of side conversations that were going on to try to put this together. I never want people to just think, oh, Kill, just whatever you think, and then everybody else just has to conform to it. Nah, I'm like always want to take everybody's insight in. So I'm going with Schoolie D number 1. For the Impact Legacy box, I'm just checking off he birthed gangster rap. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the moral to the story right there. Now, whether you like gangster rap, whether you think it's the downfall of hip hop, that's not what we're here to talk about. It's just when you're talking about your impact and your legacy, he birthed gangster rap. I love it because Ice-T has never been like, I don't think anybody's ever had any cut cards about that. Like, I don't think any gangster rapper has ever tried to say it started on the West Coast or it started with me. They always show love to Schoolie D. The 2 albums, classic albums, this is going to have to go to songs because Schoolie goes back to 85. So again, for people watching, you got to understand, hip hop was still new. People really weren't getting full record deals. Record labels didn't know what to do with hip hop. So it's like, you know what? We'll give you a 12-inch deal. And if that goes good, we'll give you another 12-inch deal. Like, it was almost like Kelv. It's almost like in sports. We giving you a 10-day contract. We're going to give you this 10-day contract. You do good for 10 days, we'll bring you back another. And you do that so many times, like, all right, fuck it, we'll sign you for the rest of the year. That's kind of how hip-hop was in the beginning stages. So the 2 classic songs I'm going with is Gucci Time and Saturday Night. You know what I mean? And I feel like for me, when I'm thinking about those classic songs, again, if you put these on at a party with people of a certain age group, they should enjoy these songs. They should know these songs. I feel like if you put on Gucci Time, looking at my Gucci, it's about, I feel like everybody is going to know that joint. Saturday Night, originality. No one was sounding like Schoolie when he came out. Nobody was. You know, I even loved, if people please Google it, Google his old album covers, because he did all the graffiti art for his album covers. You know, like that was like a staple. I used to love buying his 12 inches because of the yellow background with the graph that he would do. The longevity, again, in the 80s, it's a little different. You know what I mean? It's a little different in the 80s. I'm going with, so Schoolie D came out in 85. He dropped his first album, Schoolie D, 85. That had PSK, Parkside Killers, Gucci Time, Put Your Felines On. In 86, he dropped the album Saturday Night, which had that, and Housing the Joint, which was on the Jive release. In 88, he had Smoke Some Kill, which Smoke Some Kill, No More Rock and Roll, and Black Man. And then 89, he had Am I Black Enough For You, Education of the Black Man, Gangsta Boogie, and Living in the Jungle. To be honest with you, by the time Smoke Some Kill came out, I kind of was off of Schoolie D. I felt like, you know, his time had kind of come and gone. But I felt like that time between 85 to 88, Schoolie's name was in the mix. If anybody ever watches one of my favorite movies, yo, how am I forgetting the name of one of my favorite movies? Frank White, King of New York. Schoolie's music is throughout that entire movie. You know, it's almost like whoever did the music was just a Schoolie fan. And again, tapping into those classic songs, again, we got Gucci Time, Saturday Night. So again, I got Schoolie D. Any objections? Everybody cool with Schoolie getting in?
Mm-hmm. I had Schoolie on my list, so yeah.
What were some of the things you had, Vega? Some of the same things, or?
Yeah, basically the same thing, especially Impact, because that whole thing about birthing gangster rap is tremendous, if you ask me, because any of the legendary gangster rappers from the 80s and 90s, like a MC8, for example, clearly would say, like, you know, yo, when I heard Ice-T's 6 in the morning, you know, that was what it was. And Ice-T himself would say, you know, everybody in the West Coast is pointing to me, but I got it from Schoolie D. Right. And to me, that's like the ultimate, because I think people don't do the knowledge on Schoolie D to take something like that from Ice-T and say, well, damn, who's that guy? You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
To me, off the strength of that, like you said, Gucci Tom, PSK, so you know, he was that guy for a minute, you know, off the singles alone. So yeah.
Right. Now the R&B thing is a little bit different, y'all, because I realized a lot of these people don't really have two classic albums. Mm-hmm. They've got a lot of classic songs, but they're really not classic albums. So the first one I got up is Jodeci. I got the originality. I mean, the OG Bad Boys of R&B, the Timbs, the Leather Jackets, the hip hop remixes. I'll never forget when I heard Forever My Lady. It's like, yo, this nigga set the song up with So You Having My Baby. You know what I mean? And nowadays that's nothing, because I got 12-year-olds having baby showers. Like, so in 2024, having a kid ain't nothing. But back in 1990, this is really when teenage pregnancies was really starting to pop. So it was kind of like, I knew dudes who was literally singing this song like it was really for them, because they like, yo, I got my shorty pregnant. So I felt like that was the originality, even if that's not them, because I know somebody watching gonna be like, come on, Kill, they wasn't even hip hop, they was from down south, and Puffy dressed them like that. Whatever it was, they're the original Bad Boys of R&B for me. Classic albums, Forever My Lady, Diary of a Madman, even the show, The Party, and the after show. What is it? The show, after party in the hotel. But here's the problem, y'all. Yo, to keep it a buck with you, I've never listened past like the 5 or 6 songs on the first 2 albums, because Jodeci, what I loved about Jodeci was the first side of the tape was always the slow jams.
Oh, slow jams.
They were always the best. It was Stay, Come and Talk to Me, You and I was like that, and then you flip the tape and then they went some old next shit. Same thing with Diary of a Madman. Like after like the 6 songs, it's like them albums trail off, but it's just them 6 songs are so incredible that it's kind of just like, forget the rest of the album. But I don't do that anywhere else. Y'all know me, I'm the teacher. I'm like, no, you can't have 12 songs, 12 questions on a test, and you only get 6 right. No, you fail, you know. So this is where the R&B part came in. The longevity, debut album is in 90. The third album was in 97. That's 3 albums in 7 years. Classic songs, I mean, Forever My Lady, Come and Talk to Me, Stay, Fiendin', Cry for You, Get On Up, Freaking You, Love You for Life, not to mention the remixes. I mean, we ain't even touching on the Freaking You remixes with Ghost, the Come and Talk to Me remix, and then Impact and Legacy. And I'm like, simply just look at Drew Hill and Jagged Edge, you know, and any singing group that wanted to try to be hood, that's their impact. And I mean, then we also got to remember Devontae's production, because there was a time and point, again, like I like to say, for a moment in time, Devontae may have been the dopest producer, R&B producer on the planet. It may only been for a month, and then Babyface came back or somebody else came back. But for a minute, if I saw it produced by Devontae, I'm all in. Like, you know, not to mention the whole Swing Mob, which was issuing in Missy and Timbaland and Genuine and all them. So I got Jodeci. Any beef with Jodeci getting into the Hip Hop Hall of Fame?
Nope, I had Jodeci on my list too.
Okay. No, I'm sorry. Keep going.
I was gonna say, for pretty much the same reason you said. I mean, everything you said, I can't add anything else. I would say, isn't no, that's more, I guess Teddy Riley's more Pharrell, right?
What happened?
I said Teddy Riley's more Pharrell. I was thinking of like Impact, but yeah, no, everything you said about Jodeci is everything I got to say. So no argument.
And we'll talk about the classic albums, because I don't know. Do y'all think that should be something for R&B, or is it just me? Because I feel like Jodeci, when I define a classic album, I'm like, I think I have it where like 90% of the album is crazy. You know, great example. Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. She watched Channel Zero and Fight for Your Right to Party. I skip those joints all the time, but I can't let those 2 songs stop what I believe is the dopest hip hop album of all time from being a classic. So for me, 90% of an album. These Jodeci albums is kind of 50%. You know what I mean?
There's some up-tempo joints I think that I like on there, but I hear what you're saying.
The only up-tempo joint I ever liked from Jodeci was Let's Go Through the Motions, which was on the Who's the Man soundtrack. Like, you know what I mean? So that wasn't even on the album of one of their joints. But what do y'all think? Do we need classic albums for R&B in the mindset of 90% of this album is great?
No, I think that falls into that category that I disagree with. If a classic album must not have any skips, that's just not.
Oh no, yeah. I totally. There would be so many albums that aren't classics then.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I can rock with One Time for Your Mind. I mean, I loved it when it dropped because I just love Nas. I just wanted to hear more Nas. But as time goes on, I don't skip it, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like that's where we're at in hip hop. Like, somebody was like, "Well, I'll listen to it." And I'm like, I don't like that mindset. I'll listen to damn near anything you put in front of me. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm not. I want to be hyped to hear it. So, no, Vern, I never agreed with the no skips. That has to be the only way you get a classic album. Veg, what do you think about R&B? Do the albums, or is it just like you have enough classic songs, or should we? Because I do want something. You know what I mean? So is it like you got to have 4 more classic songs?
Yeah, I think there should be things within their output that obviously would have to be a lot if it's not albums that we think are classic. Because I have maybe a rapper or two where I could confidently say they have a classic album, but they have one. You know what I'm saying? Right. But there are other things that they've done musically that to me says this, but when you look at the totality of what they're doing, those couple of songs, not making a classic album really doesn't matter. Like you said, you could take some of the wax songs out, put the remixes on there, boom, there you got a classic.
To the point, I never knew why Jodeci didn't do that. One of the reasons I love 112's debut album is because like 90% of it is just all slow jams. You know what I'm saying? And I was always like, why don't Jodeci just make a whole album of slow jam? Like, this is what y'all niggas do good. And they kind of did it on the last album that they just dropped, that me and Devon say, and I think Vegas are the only people in the world who like. I thought the last album was dope as hell. You know what I mean? Everybody like, I'm like, it's classic Jodeci. Like, it's dope to me. And it was basically all slow jams. Vern, who you got up for your first people coming into the hall, bro?
So I didn't follow your rules at first, but I'm glad I wrote down a bunch of other people. I'm gonna go with Heavy D.
Okay.
You said household name?
Oh, you know what? I sent you the wrong things, bro. I'm sorry, man. I took out household name. I mean, that's cool. You can, but I think I did take out household name.
No,
but I mean, yeah, you're fine. You're fine with whatever you went with. But he's definitely a household name. So yeah, we ain't got to worry about that.
His impact. He was the first big man that was smooth, and I think he's a forerunner of Biggie Smalls, Big Pun, the big dudes. So that's that classic albums. I'm gonna say Big Time and Blue Funk are mine.
Okay.
But he has several other very, very, very dope albums like Living Large, Peaceful Journey, and Nothing But Love. Let's see. Originality. Heavy D was one of the first MCs that was able to not have to be a gangster, not have to be a killer, just be himself. And he ran that lane and created. I don't know if he created, but he solidified his lane, not trying to be nothing else. I guess he foretold his demise on at the end of Blue Funk. He said, "What I do is what I do." He said, when I'm done, when y'all don't want to hear me no more, yeah, I'm not gonna leave without somebody saying that nigga Heavy D was rough in his day. And that's the thing about Heavy D. He was respected by the Hard Rocks. He was loved by the ladies. The average Joes appreciated what he did. So all of those things are another reason why I think he's in there. Longevity. From 87 to 94. He went on after that, but that's when I kind of stopped checking for Heavy D. And again, the legacy for me, he was one of the guys that could do songs with Mike and Janet and In Living Color, but the hip hop audience not look at him as though oh man, you on some sellout type stuff. Heavy was just heavy. And everybody loved it. I love on Self-Destruction when he was like, Heavy's at the door, so there'll be no bum rushing. It's like, Heavy, you a peaceful cat, but ain't no nigga gonna run up on you. And I love on Blue Funk when he said, you think I ain't tough because I don't talk tough, then scrimmage me. Run up on me if you want to, you will get done up. So that's some of the reasons why I put Heavy D in mind.
Everybody good with Heavy D getting in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Love him.
All right. And Burn, just to add on to his legacy, he's the blueprint to what Big did. And then what everybody else tried to start to do. So while everybody thinks it's Big, Heavy started that, being able to do.
Big out on a bunch of niggas if you want to talk about it to me.
Right. But again, that's the legacy, is that people have been following Hev's blueprint since 1987 to this day. You know what I mean? So we got my brother Tone from Into the Dome in the building. What's going on, Tone?
Tone low.
What's up? How everybody doing, man? And look, let me say something. Let me piggyback on Vern real quick. Bag and I did an entire episode on Heavy D on That Time in Hip Hop podcast years ago, because for whatever reason, man, Heavy D is so underrated. Like, amazing MC, flow, lyrics, stage performance, storytelling, songwriting, can make hits and make albums that rock. I mean, Heavy D was an amazing MC, man. Like, rest in peace to Heavy D, because he doesn't get the credit that he deserves as an MC. Forget hit making, and Overweight Lover can dance and perform. We know he can do all of that. But man, Heavy D can rap.
Yep.
Listen to his verses.
Yeah.
He wasn't to be played with. And don't get it twisted. Chubb Rock, Biggie Smalls, all these guys after them, they got some Heavy D in them. Believe.
Right. No doubt. We also got the Philadelphia legend in the building, Trey Lee. What's going on, big?
Mended faces.
Hey, Trey, hold on. Kill, let me give Trey his flowers right now. So, these last 2 years in the mortgage industry have been very interesting. That's the term I'm going to use. And this week was one of them weeks, man. I put on Save, Trey, and it pulled me out of it.
Yes.
So appreciate you, bro.
No, man. I mean, and that's what music is supposed to do, at least in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Especially good music that's everlasting. Like, you could throw it on during whatever time that you're going through, and it'll pull you right through. So I'm glad I could be a part of that, man. I appreciate you for sure. What's up, fellas? Man, I ain't been in here in a minute. You know?
Hey, bro. You know, we get you back at the right time, man. You know what I mean? I need you on these Hall of Fame discussions, man. And then just another thing for people out there watching. People hit me up all the time, like, "Yo, what happened to Trey? Many Faces. I loved it." This dude got a whole discography out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I shout him out on his birthday, and I'm like, "Yo, if you want to show my man love, go to his page, look at that discography." Because a lot of people think that's it, not knowing this man's put out countless other incredible albums since then. So definitely tap into that. Trey, what's the website again, bro?
TracyLeeMusic.com. That's TraCeylee music.com. You can go there for any and all things Tracy Lee, whether it be music, merch, books, you know, you name it, man. You know what I mean?
And it's funny, I gotta get you on next week because we're doing this episode. I'll tell you what it is offline, but your name is like at the top of the list for next week's episode too. So yeah, you know what I mean. I know how to get people to come back. I know how to get people to clear their schedule. Like, okay, like I gotta get you on for that one. Vern, who you got for your R&B joint?
Before I do that, one more thing, Trey. I was reading your book, and you were talking about like when you was down to your last $7, man.
Yep.
And you gave it.
Yep.
And then a royalty check came in for that. And the royalty check came in. I'm like, okay, I hear you, guy. You talking to me right now. And you using Trey. So that's thanks, man.
Nah, blessings upon blessings, man. That's you know, that's where my heart is at all times, man. Give glory to God, give it to God, He'll give it right back. You know
and while we're here, somebody watching is like, what book? So Trey, what book would Vern be talking about?
Okay, so the name of the book is called Glory. It's titled after the actual album. I wrote the album first, and then I essentially just took lyrics out of the album and put them in book form so that you can easily follow along. It's almost like, you know, you got the insert to the albums like we used to, or the cassette. and you can read along with the lyrics. Well, in this particular case, we put it, my wife published it through Nelson Publishing, that's her publishing company, and we put it in book form, and we added some visuals to it, some pictures of me and my family and other things, just to kind of pull it all together. So Glory the book is also available on TracyLeeMusic.com.
All right, no doubt. Vern, who's on your R&B list, bro?
All right, so I'm throwing a curveball, but y'all gotta just rock with me. I'm putting Commission in the R&B Hall of Fame.
Okay.
The gospel group Commission.
Yeah.
Okay.
Greg don't know nothing about that. Look at his face, man. He don't know nothing about that, man.
All right. So what was the first? Was it impact? Was that the first criteria?
I mean, yeah, impact, originality.
Okay, originality. Man, you got E-Roll and Tank saying, church boys. I grew up a church boy, so they was like, yo, this is the first gospel group we saw with jeans and like rayon shirts on. And that might not seem like nothing to if you didn't grow up in the church. But for them, bruh, they were like pariahs to a certain segment of the church world or whatever. But they stepped out and they did their thing, man. Let me see what else. Every male group from the late 80s to the early 90s owes them tithes. Boys to Men, Jodeci. Okay, here we go. My arms are open wide and I don't have to cry no more. KC got that from Running Back to You when Fred was singing that. What's the song? Here I Stand by Usher. If you play, I was playing it to my wife. If you play, let me see, what's it called? A Secret Place. That's straight from Commission, A Secret Place. Just straight from it. Intro, another sons of Commission. They got a song, One of a Kind Love. Mm-hmm. And he says, I get so excited. I went back and listened to I Love Thinking of You. And it tripped me out because he said, one of the singers, who's that? Keep stating. But anyway, he said, I get so excited. That's where they got that from, man. So they were just so influential to all singers. That one of the first groups to have 5 lead singers. All of them could be the lead singer if they wanted to be. Classic albums. Number 7, Matters of the Heart, Ordinary Just Won't Do. Classic songs, Running Back to You, Hold Me, Secret Place. The list goes on and on. Originality, I just told y'all, they were the first gospel group to come out the way that they were. And Fred was talking about it one day, Fred Hammond. He said, man, we went to a concert, I want to say, I think it was in Indianapolis or something like that. And they were being picketed by the church elders or whatever, this worldly music, blah, 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 blah. But so many testimonies of people, young people who was like, yo, I can get in with this, these hymns and stuff, I ain't feeling that, but this is speaking to me. And for me personally, we went to the Commission reunion tour about 3-4 years ago. And we went backstage and I told Fred Hammond, I was like, yo, man, your Pages of Life album saved my life, dude. Because I had just got married and it was just tumultuous, finance-wise, all that kind of stuff. But that album just carried me through to the other side, man. So for that, all those reasons, and because they're the sons of, these people are the sons, Jodeci, Boys to Men. Sean Stockman talks about it all the time. H-Town, Silk, all these people got their style and their flavor from Commission. So for those reasons, I'm putting Commission in the Hall of Fame hip hop / R&B.
Now let me ask you this.
Who else besides Fred Hammond was in that group? That's
Keith Staten, Carl Reed, Marvin Sapp.
Marvin Sapp.
Yeah. So Marvin Sapp is a pillar himself. So you got guys that spent all from Commission and pillars themselves. What were you saying, Kill?
No, what I was gonna say is, and I'm not beefing with it. Great pick, but do they make R&B music? Like, would they be in the Gospel Hall of Fame, or are you saying that
the reason why I put them in the R&B Hall of Fame is because
they birthed those
you don't
people.
have no Jodeci, you don't have no Boys to Men.
Okay,
you don't have all the pillar R&B groups without commission.
No, I got you. I was just asking.
They influenced the sound something crazy at a particular period of time of R&B music. Like,
right.
Essentially, these groups were spin-offs of them.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? The word perspective.
I get it. No, vague. When I used to run the boards on Sunday, so I heard "Speak to My Heart." When I heard "Speak to My Heart" by Diane McKirkland, I was like, "Yo, that's Mary J. Blige. That's where Mary got that from." Like, I'm like, "Yo, you know." So now I totally understand what you're saying, bro. Totally understand what you're saying. Got no beef with that. Kel, who you got up for your hip hop? Who's getting in the hall, man? I know they out of Queens, so we can already skip through the rigmarole. Who is it? Mobb Deep? Where are we going? Pharaoh? Who? Where are we starting with?
You know, I try to purposely, like I said, when I text earlier, I'm gonna try not to do all five from Queens. I could have, but I didn't. But I'll start with one, of course. Kool G Rap. That's a household name. Kool G Rap. Everybody knows him. Got cats still quoting him. What Jay-Z talking about, like Kool G Rap in my prime, in the 90s. So as far as like household name, impact, style is just so unique. Obviously the list made it, I guess the list makes him stand out. It's unique, that's his originality. Rhyme flow, different flow. I mean, you just think about time it comes out in 87 and cats went around, obviously Rakim's rock is rhyming different and has a take out that difference of a style compared to your Run DMC's or Houdini, Fat Boys. But Kool G Rap, same thing, just a different flow. Classic albums, Road to Riches, Live and Let Die, 456. I love 456.
Ooh, that's my joint.
Shit, I throw one of that are live in here too. Talk like sex.
Yeah,
that talk me about sex.
One that live too. Yeah, you can throw more of those first four. Legacy, I just think that Impact, just Nas, Big Pun. Big Pun say hits the tan when he saw him or something So I think Longevity, they still make now, I think from 87. So like 90, I think 95 is when 456 was released. Obviously got still dropping verses, Mobb Deep's album.
And then just keep in mind that verse on The Realest is one of the craziest guest verses of the 90s, and not to mention his guest verse on MOP Stick to Your Guns.
What he said, bullets don't hate you. What racial shit?
Yeah.
Hate you, right?
Woo!
Yes, G Rap. All right. Any problem with G Rap getting in the hall? Anybody?
Hey, Kill, let me say something real quick.
Yeah, do your thing.
I did a tweet a few weeks ago about G Rap again. Like, I think people forget how many people he actually influenced. Not just the Nas, the AZ, and and Pun, but the Big L's, the Ghost and Ray, Jadakiss and Styles. All of these people talk about G Rap as their influence. I mean, we know that Kane and Rakim and all these guys influence people, but when you talk about mid-90s New York hip hop, there might not be a person that influenced more people than Kool G Rap. We think about Capone, Noriega, and everyone. Like, my dude influence is really massive, man. Like, really massive. East Coast hip hop.
You know what I think it is, Tone? I think for a lot of times, I think two things. If you're not an MC, it's hard to pull and see where people got certain styles from. So that's number one. And I think number two, if you don't watch these interviews, to hear people say that. And what I mean by that is you'll hear all these Dwayne Wades and LeBron say like Allen Iverson influenced me, Allen Iverson. But when I watch their games, I don't see AI in a lot of their game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see it. So without them telling me that, now, if White Chocolate said, yo, AI influenced me, I see that. Like, it's the playground, it's the crossovers, it's the flashiness. But so I think that may be one of the reasons people don't see that G-Rap influenced so many people. Number one, again, maybe Vague or Trey as an MC, they're able to kind of be like, oh, I see that style, I see how, like somebody who plays basketball may be able to see, oh no, I do see Wade got something from AI. But just a casual fan like me, I don't see it. You know, because it's like if you're not flashy, then you ain't getting them from AI. So I think those could be reasons why people don't see the influence that G Rap has had on so many people.
I think 456 is so underrated because when you think about coming out in 95, that's in the middle of Biggie, Nas had dropped Illmatic a year before that. You know, a lot of East Coast guys was really dropping a lot of hot heat. But G Rap, who came out years before that, still in his pocket, man, in 95 and on 456, blowing up in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like the Fast Life with Nas, man, and Executioner Style, where he was a murderous monster in Executioner Style. So G Rap is kind of, his flow is kind of like timeless, man. Like it's still fresh today, but it was fresh in 95 in the middle of a lot of guys in New York who was coming into their own. G Rap was still there when a lot of other 80s guys, they kind of flamed out and shit. Rap was still there, in my opinion.
I mean, truth be told, Rakim and Kane had kind of flamed out by that point. If we want to keep it a buck, you know what I mean? So, definitely. So G Raps, and who's your R&B person, Kel?
For R&B, I'm gonna go with Mariah Carey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
So, obviously household name, impact. I think of 90s. I think Mariah Carey. That first time was 90, and
which is a classic to me. I love her.
Classic. I think just vocally, you think of her range. Obviously people got Whitney in the 80s, but I think as far as 90s goes, Mariah setting that bar for the 90s era. Like I said, Mariah Carey first album. I got Emotions, Emancipation of Mimi. I love that album. I think those
very dope album.
Longevity. She's still doing it, obviously. The Christmas joints. She's every year, the most played Christmas song ever.
Yep.
He most played too. So that's my pick for R&B.
All right. Any beef with Mariah getting it?
Of course not.
No doubt. Vay, you got it for
Hall of Fame either. So that was a shock to me. Like when you said no one can't be in the Hall of Fame. So like the people I was Googling the artists, I'm like, I can't believe she's not in the Hall of Fame at all.
That is true. I'm actually kind of shocked she's not. It's funny. I'm shocked you named her too. You know what I mean? Like, because most hood niggas don't talk about Mariah. You know what I mean? So I'm shocked, but I'm glad you came out of Queens and held it down. I'm shocked on both ends.
Long Island, it was close by. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I didn't even know that. I didn't know she. I never knew she was from NY.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think one of the other reasons why Mariah not in, because they're so behind on dope black R&B artists that it might be a while before the other people get in.
I'm still so confused. Is Mariah white or black? Because I swear on Vision of Love she was white. She's okay, cool. Because maybe it was just that curly hair when she first dropped. I was like, that's a white lady. By Emancipation of Mimi, I was like, she Puerto Rican. Like, so I was confused. Okay, she's multiracial. Okay, cool. Vay, who you got up first in the hall, bro?
On the hip hop side, I got Ghostface.
Okay.
Ghost.
That's a dope pick.
He definitely has classic albums, right? Supreme Clientele.
Woo!
Iron Man also. He has a run with the Wu, right? As a part of the group. What he was able to do on Raekwon's album, right? Only Built for Cuban Links. Single-handedly saved the Wu, if you ask me, with Supreme Clientele.
Facts.
Everybody was dropping duds, and Ghostface just like, oh, y'all want that Wu sound? Here you go. Features like crazy. We just mentioned like the Jodeci feature with him and Ray. Even the more recent joint he was on with what's her name? Tiana Taylor. Like when I heard that, I was in my 90s bag. Okay, this is what I used to do, But this is current, you know what I'm saying? Just everything. Impact, there's probably people who are more familiar with Ghostface than they are with all of the members of the Wu. Like, obviously, we're a little bit different. Obviously, longevity, enough to get a deal with Mass Appeal today. Says something about Ghostface's impact. Sure, the homie is Nas, but at the same time, he's put out so many solo joints that people love. Even his stuff that didn't even make it out officially is revered, right? Like Lucy's. Like the first time he did the Good Times joint, I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like this is perfect for Ghost.
Like you said, there's a lot of Lucy's. The original Flowers, the original Box in Hand, the original The Watch joint with, the Sun with Slick Rick. There's so many joints that's out there that didn't even make an album. That was just crazy.
Right. So in general, like, Ghost has just put up numbers across the board, and almost everything you could think of. I know there's a lot of stuff I didn't even name. So yeah, to me, first ballot all the way.
All right.
His charisma, man.
Everybody good with Ghost getting in?
No doubt, yeah. Ghost is so charisma, man. It's like it jumps out at you. He makes you want to listen to what he's saying, even if you can't understand what the heck he's saying. The way he delivers it, man. Yeah, definitely first ballot.
And just the story, Shaky Dog, Maxine, Apollo Kids, just the storytelling that have you on the edge of your seat. Like what happened next, Ghost? Like, you know what I mean? So yeah.
You know what's crazy, Kill? Ghostface had the career that a lot of people thought when you first saw Method Man video that was Method Man's career that Ghostface had. Because Ghost, he got the Scully on, he's kind of the Enigma and shit like that. Then he drops, Iron Man and whatever. But you thinking that Method Man he's the star, right? He got the look, the chicks like him, the voice. He's a jump off MC for Wu-Tang. And don't get me wrong, I love Meth, but Ghostface actually had the solo career that people thought Meth was gonna have. He actually has the best solo discography and career for Wu-Tang, and we thought that Meth was gonna be that.
You know what we gonna do, y'all? We gonna have to do a show about this, and I ain't gonna wait till afterwards. Niggas can bite this. Y'all ain't gonna do it as good as us anyway, so it don't matter. When we're looking at, because here's the thing, Ghostface. If you said who's gonna be the one to hold down the Wu-Tang Clan in 1993, Ghost may have been one of the last people named right before you got. If you asked who is gonna hold down the boot camp clique out of all these people, Sean P's name probably would have been the last person. When my man Lunchbox told me about Sean Price, I was like, that nigga Ruck? Like, not even Rock. You talking about Ruck? So same thing. Now here's the thing. Even when we get into the 2000s, Trey, walk with me on this. If you would have told me, yo, who's gonna be the nicest nigga holding down state prop all these years later? Oh, Beans, Young Chris, maybe Freeway's name was not gonna come up as the person who's gonna be holding down state property. So I don't know what it is about these people, and we gotta have to do some homework and try to figure it out. Like, why is it that the people who we didn't think would be holding these people down are holding these people down? Don't talk about Trey. Don't talk about. We're gonna save it for the show. Go ahead, Trey. Fuck. Go ahead. What you got?
I was just gonna say, even back then, though, to me, it's weird. He was never the best rapper. He was never the best MC, but he made the better records.
Which one? Who? Free.
Yeah,
I mean, he did. Got the anthem. Got the anthems. I mean, he could perform what they do for the rest of his life.
Like none of them other cats even came close to making records like Free.
Right. That joint with Petey Crack, you throw that shit on in Philly during the summertime, it's gonna be crazy. You know what I mean? So
he had a crazy work ethic also. When he did that Month of Madness shit back in the day, like that cat was releasing a song like every day. Like Freeway loves hip hop.
Yeah. But you know what? Here's the thing, and this may just essentially be what this is. At the end of the day, and I don't want to take this too far to the left, but I think maybe what it is that because you don't have any expectations, you have a free palette. Like your easel is free because there are no expectations for you whatsoever. You're not the star, so they're not trying to make you make radio songs. You know what I mean? Because all of these people just did what the fuck their fans wanted. You know what I mean? It's like Ghost made, like you said, Big, everybody throwing up duds. Ghost like, I'm gonna just stay with the formula. You know, Sean P, when he came out as the brokest rapper alive, it was like, yo, why everybody else out here flossing? I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. You know what I mean? And here's the other thing that all three of them had. They had their own styles. Yes. Nobody can rhyme like Ghost. Yes. Nobody can rhyme like Ruck, and nobody can rhyme like Free. There's sometimes Free ain't even rhyming, but it just sounds like you're rhyming. So,
Freeway and Ghost jump out at me with their voices, man. It's how they like Cuddy said on Wire, how you do that thing you do. that's right. How they are. Yeah.
It's almost like they rapping in soprano.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They both rap in soprano. They both up here. Then up here. You know what I'm saying? Whereas a lot of cats, mostly altos, tenors, they up here with it. That's where your man.
Trey, was Phife Dawg kind of like that also?
But Phife wasn't as hype. You know what I'm saying?
I got
you. He wasn't as exuberant. Them two dudes, soprano, and they bright with it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yeah, I mean, it makes sense because I mean, what they do, bro, like, and I ain't like Free at first. I was like, yo, I can't even catch his style. You know what I mean? And then he battled my man Cassidy, so I had the homeboy right there. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, when I look up, like, yo, Free and Jake won the stimulus package, the first one, 5-like album. To me, second joint. This is my album of the year. It goes back and forth with Combs. Like, but like I would have never. I mean, what came out in 2002 and it's 2024, and like he's like damn near with my album of the year, and he's not slowing down, and it's amazing because he done lost both his children and his pop. You know what I mean? So the fact that this dude is even able to still fucking wake up.
Listen. We had him at Howard for homecoming. Like he just popped out of thin air and came to our event and performed, right? And I'm talking to the brother, and it's just like he has nothing to lose. He is on this earth because he lost everything. So that's what you see. You see a person that's just like, there's nothing that can stand in my way. Nothing. Because I lost all. Like, lost my pop, lost my kids. So this is why I'm here. Period.
He's on dialysis too, right?
Yeah, and he had to get a kidney transplant.
And the kidney.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. That dude is unstoppable.
Bruh, he's Job, man.
Nothing can stop him. Nothing. It's crazy to like. It's just like when you talk to the brother and you look at him and you making eye contact and all that. Like you see it. Like I have nothing to lose. So what? I'm here.
Right. Yeah, well, there we just did the whole episode right there for y'all. So there you go. Vay, who you got on the R&B side of things, bro?
One last thing on Ghostface. Just don't know. The probably one of the greatest diss songs that wasn't a diss song.
Oh man, you ain't never lied.
My timeline every 5 minutes, I gotta watch the whole video of him coming out the back room to tell y'all about Action Bronson. It with the what he had Teddy P. Put the leg up on the couch to talk to this nigga like talk to you real quick. That shit was golden. He didn't have to drop no songs, no verses, just
nothing.
Ghostface, you know what I'm saying?
That's the epitome of fly, bro.
Right. So R&B, I didn't make any, but I know enough R&B to start adding people. So I'm gonna say Keep Sweat.
Yes, there you go.
Keep Sweat. His first album, like my God, put it on.
I want it, man.
It's you could easily forget how many bangers are just on that debut alone.
Yes, sir.
The whole album.
The whole album. Slow jams, songs, everything is just
like you said, Trey. Don't Stop Your Love ending the album. You know, I wasn't setting it off. Like it's a beautiful piece of work that I'm shocked nobody talks about. I never hear anybody talk about that album.
Really?
What you say, Tom?
Look, man, I'm gonna tell you what's funny. I love Keith Sweat and I love Bobby Brown. But when they did that verses, before they did the verses, I got on Twitter. I said, look, Keith Sweat gonna murk Bobby Brown. And the reason why I said it was because Bobby was dope in his own right. He had some little kiddie kind of joints when we was young. But Keith Sweat had that grown folk music. And when they did the verses, you saw the difference and the levels to Keith Sweat writing compared to damn Teddy Riley and whatever they did to fuck for Bobby Brown. It was different levels. Keith Sweat murked Bobby Brown, dog.
Oh, he did.
I don't even remember that.
That was the consensus. People thought.
Am I lying, bro?
I don't even remember that verses.
Oh,
I think most people like Keith Sweat.
Keith Sweat discography is not a game, bro.
Man,
yeah,
bro. I moved to Atlanta in '86. Nigga, all the dope boys had slow jams, 808 coming out of their trunk, rattling the windows at school, man. Dum dum boom. Boom, 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 boom. I had never heard no slow jams with that 808 like that, man. I mean, blowing up your chest, man. Make it last forever? Come on, man.
My bad, babe. Keep going, babe. We done stole babe. Go ahead, bro. I could be here all night talking about that first album. We could just start and stop with that first album and just he's in the hole.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's everything everybody's saying. You know, you think about the impact of that first album, and then you get into other albums that were great. You know what I'm saying? It's like Tone said, the discography is crazy. The music he's created for other people, like he's
cut close.
Some all-time hits for people. Some that most people didn't even know till the fucking verses. So yeah, man, like in a lot of ways, and we know he was begging. But it's cool, you know.
Hey, yo, bro, Keith Sweat has such an influence on me. And one of them videos, he picking Shorty up in the rain. I used to love driving in the rain. I just be at the bus stop looking for Shorties. Like, yo, I know anybody out here I can grab in the rain? Like, you got to get the Keith Sweat joint in the rain, man. You know, and I mean, then you talk about the second album too. God damn, I mean, I'll give all my love to you. Not to even mention the joint off the New Jack City soundtrack. There you go telling me no. Like, nigga, like, yo, come on.
The crazy thing is Keith Sweat cannot sing.
Yeah, Trey in it. There you go telling me no, man. That thing was crazy on the New Jack City soundtrack. Yeah. So, you know, for people watching, it ain't just about your album game. You had some Lucy's out there doing that Black movie soundtrack era that was just crazy too. You know what I mean? That was crazy. Yeah, so I mean, Keith Sweat said, I ain't got no beef. I mean, we could just start and stop with the first album. That's how great Keith is. We could just start and stop with the first album and walk away and he in. Yeah. I'm with it. So, who you got up next, man? Well, who you got up first?
It's about the hip hop who not in the Hall of Fame right now?
Yeah, hip hop.
Well, man, you know, I know it's a love and hate thing with most people, man, but I gotta put Kanye in, man. I mean,
bro, if he checked the boxes, check the boxes.
Kanye West checks every box. And before he started going left field, the kid.
But Tom, let me say this real quick before you get started. People are watching. This is why you have to have a criteria. Because, like Tone said, a lot of people ain't gonna like it. It ain't about like got nothing to do with this. You know what I mean? So this is why you have to have it, because when you don't have a criteria, this is how people be letting people not get in the hall just because I don't like them and they don't, you know, and things like that. So you got to have a criteria. Even if you don't agree with mine, I challenge everybody to go out there and come up with your own criteria. But before you say this person is a legend or this person is in the hall, at least be able to have a criteria to check the boxes. You know what I mean? We don't got to agree on the boxes. I just want you to have your own set of boxes, because right now it's a lot of people like, yo, such my favorite MC, he in the Hall of Fame. And it's like, nah, nigga, just because he your favorite don't mean he get in the Hall of Fame. It's gonna be a lot of people I don't like who deserve to get in the Hall of Fame. So I'm sorry, Tone, keep going with Ye.
It's all good, fam. You know, you and I have dealt with this for years on Twitter. Facts has nothing to do with personal feelings and shit like that. You don't have to like Kanye West, but Kanye West run as an MC and producer is on a short list of the greatest of all time. When you think about coming out the box with College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, just those three, you would be hard pressed to find too many people that came up with 3 albums like that. Those are only for legends. You know what I'm saying? Then the 808 changed hip hop, even if you don't like it. Then My Dark Twisted Fantasy went a whole nother level. We ain't talking about his production. Of course, he did stuff before Jay-Z and the Blueprint. But what he did with the Blueprint, what he did with the Black Album, with Lucifer, shit like that. Just everything Kanye has done in music, it's been legendary. But what happens is sometimes people's personality kind of jade what they've done and what they've meant for the culture. And I get it, because he said some outlandish shit. But if you look at his discography of production and albums, he's first ballot on any kind of Hall of Fame. It's not even a debate.
You could even talk about the mixtapes that he was dropping. You know what I mean? The good, the bad, and ugly with Consequence. There's so many joints out there, and we ain't even touched on the R&B production. The Brandy joint, the Keisha Cole joint, the Alicia Keys. So you could just go in that bag too. So I definitely feel that. Anybody got any beef with Ye getting in?
Not at all.
All right, no doubt. So who you got on the R&B side?
R&B, man. I'm gonna have to say Alicia Keys, man.
I ain't mad at that.
What Alicia Keys has done in music, man. You think about that debut album, man, that Songs in the Minor, and then that Diary of Alicia Keys about 2 years after that. Just those two alone. Not too many people came out in her era that was that hot. I mean, you're talking about a vocalist, whether you like her or not, a talented musician who plays that piano. You know what I'm saying? She's that throwback, singing, playing that piano like Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles and some of the throwback people. Like, I can encompass all this talent in one. You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at her longevity, classic hits, classic albums, impact, success. I mean, I don't think it's much debate as far as her being in the Hall of Fame at some point, man.
Dog, we did a show, and me and Veg were talking about this, because I was just like, yo, somehow, some way, Alicia Keys just got canceled. And, you know, I think it was my homegirl was like, oh, it was once she got with Swiss, and Swiss was married, and women cut her off or whatever like that. But up to a certain point, Alicia Keys could not win. Like, she couldn't lose. Like, did she stay with a slow jam on the radio? That video with Common dying, the video with Meth was selling drugs. Like, she stayed with a slow jam, that joint on a live album. What is it, like Unbreakable? That was everywhere. You know what I mean? A Woman's Worth, all them joints. Why Don't You Call Me No More? You know, You Don't Know My Name was everywhere. Like, when that dropped, there was not one time and space that you could not see that joint. So I got no beef with Alicia. Any beef with Alicia Keys getting in?
Nope, that's one of the ones that fits Holmes' criteria. I really don't care for her, but it's indisputable what you just said.
I agree with you.
I agree, Vern, because real talk, I can't tell you the last time I was like, you know what, I need to hear that Alicia Keys song right now. Same way I would say I want to go throw in Love Deluxe by Sade or Raps about Ida Baker. I'm not rocking Alicia Keys music like that, but I'm only looking at the reality of what she's done in the business.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And again, Fallen was it's just some things we can y'all love canceling people, but that's cool, but you can't cancel history. You know what I mean? And that's something that I saw this on IG the other day, and this is one of the dangerous things about AI. And it's so funny because it was about Alicia Keys. They were saying how at the Super Bowl, she hit a bad note. And then the next day, I guess someone went in and replaced that bad note with the correct note. So it's kind of like how with AI, we're now changing history, because we be arguing like, nah, Alicia Keys hit a bad note. And then we bring it up on YouTube and history will now show she didn't hit a bad note. Now you're going to be second guessing yourself like, yo, I know I'm not bugging. Shorty hit a bad note. But who the man or whoever it was, they went in and changed it. So, and I think that's what people try to do. And so, you know, as well as I do, this revisionist history that they do on Twitter and in social media. You can't sit here fine. She was fucking a married man. Guess what? Probably half of your homegirls in your crew are fucking married men if we keeping it a buck. So you need to cancel half your homegirls too if you're gonna cancel those Keys. You know what I mean? So, but you can't erase the fact that y'all was singing Fallen. Y'all was singing A Woman's Worth. Y'all was singing Diary. Y'all was singing You Don't Know My Name. You was singing Unbreakable. You was singing all her songs. The one about a dozen roses. Y'all was singing that joint.
That
you know
Unthinkable with Drake is just stupid. I don't care for Drake or Alicia, but that song right there,
Yeah. So I mean, again, at the end of the day, I again, you know, you cancel half the homegirls in your circle because they doing the same thing Alicia did. Trey, who you got up for your hip hop Hall of Fame, bro?
I don't want to name it. I heard. Did you go, Kill?
Yeah, I already went. Yeah, my first one was Kool D.
Okay, so I'm going with probably, in my mind, the most underrated and probably the greatest first 4-album run of all time. That is the brothers from Brentwood, Long Island. EPMD. Do I even need to go down? Like, do I even need to? Like,
for the people watching, for the people watching, because as soon as you said the first 4-album run, I already know where you was going. You know what I mean?
I didn't know where you were going. I think you were going to Long Island, but there's two groups. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, Kel. But I just know where you go. Yeah. We said Brentwood. I knew, but
right. Okay. Yeah. So we talking strictly business, right? We talking unfinished business. We talking business as usual, and we talking business of a personal. I mean, you talking about, like, from an influential standpoint. You talking about from a sound standpoint. You talking about from a voice standpoint. From a just two cats. Just, you know what I'm saying. Maybe not the most incredible MC, like bar for bar in the world, but the synergy of these two brothers. And not to mention, I ain't even getting to the spinoffs yet. You see what I'm saying? The influence of the spinoffs from EPMD. But that first 4-album run, and think about it, they did this in 88, 89, 90, and 92. There was only a skip between 90 and 92. So you're talking about 4 albums in damn near consecutive years. Who does that? And they all banging?
And they all different too. They're all different. It's not like you could take Crossover and put it on Strictly Business, and you can't take, you know, I'm Mad and put it over here. Yeah. You know, next to Humming Coming At You.
Yeah. That's because the production, the evolution of the production. You saw the evolution from 88 to 92 on the sound. You know what I'm saying? You know, like it's just
Trey. When I heard So What You Saying, man, it changed my life, brother.
I used
to play that song every day.
You and me both, man. So what you saying? Come on, man. Come on, man. 30 days later, the LP went gold.
What you saying?
Yo, bro, I didn't even know what gold was at the time. I was saying it, didn't even know what that shit meant at the time. But here's the other thing, Trey, something you said. I never, at that time in hip hop, it was such an innocent time. I never looked at them like they weren't the dopest MCs. You know what I mean? Like, I thought they were the dopest. Like, you know, I thought, like, you know, now that we look back, it's like Eric wasn't the most lyrical MC, but it just sounded dope. Like, I felt like at that time, for me at least, if it was dope, you was a dope MC. Like, that's how simple-minded it was for me. Like, if you got a dope song, you a dope MC. That's all it is. I don't think we got into that next level of lyrical exhibitionist until like the 90s, like maybe 92, 93, where it was like, because up to that point, yo, you couldn't tell me Kwame wasn't a dope MC. If you made a dope song, then you was a dope MC to me. So I never looked at them too like, oh, they subpar MCs, but nah, them niggas was incredible to me.
No, they sounded dope, no question. Yeah. But my bar was
right. I know what you're saying.
Kane during that time, G Rap, the LL, those guys were upper echelon, and these guys just made great records. They wasn't saying, like, I wasn't, you know, I'm not gonna say I wasn't repeating none of the lyrics, but it wasn't mind blowing. You see what I'm saying? Right. Where these other guys were mind, but nevertheless.
Hey, quick question. Quick question for you, bro. What's your favorite EPMD? Which one do you think is the best album?
The best one is Business as Usual. Top to bottom, to me, Business as Usual is.
I always get confused with the third and fourth. Business as Usual is Gold Digger, or was that
no the Crossover?
Gold Digger, that's the third album. What I'm Mad, Gold Digger, Rampage.
That's my one. That's the one I love.
That's the monster. That's the monster. You play that joint right now, it's a knocking.
And here's another thing, Trey, that people don't talk about. EPMD, I believe, holds the record for how to set an album off with a song. Like when you press play on an EPMD album, it's like 0 to 60. It's like we not fucking around. There ain't no intro. It ain't no nothing. You press the button on Strictly Business, it's off. You hit the button on the second album. So what you saying? The third album, yo, when I put in the third album and hit play and I heard "Let's Take It to the Stage, Sucker," and then that beat comes in without man. Right. And the same thing on the fourth album. You know, like you put that in and it's just like straight from the Boondocks. It's like, again, it's just you off to the race. So how we look at, as we look at Deck as like he knows how to set off that rhyme, EPMD just has the blueprint to how to set off an album. There ain't no intro. It ain't no "I'ma knuckle you down." It ain't no skits.
No time. They don't waste no time.
You press play and it's off to the races and you not stopping. That shit is like a roller coaster. Like you just get on and you go on, and you'll enjoy the ride. But EPMD definitely has that. I'm sure there's no problem with EPMD.
Any disagreements? Any debate here?
100%.
No.
Hey, not at all. But kid, let me say this real quick. Any listeners, please tomorrow, whenever, go to YouTube, put in "please listen to my demo" and thank me later.
Yeah.
Man, you just took me back to my high school, man.
And hell, we could go back to 12 inches when they used to spell EPMD. They had the EPE, MEE, the DEE. So like we could go back to the 12 inches, which were incredible. Trey, who's on your R&B list? You have R&B or you just hip hop?
Who did you name?
On my R&B list, I named Jodeci.
Okay, so I'm just going and they got to get in, or at least he got to get in. But I'll just go Southern Girl, running. Feel that you're feeling. We are one. Before I let go back and stride, I want to thank you. Like, you talking about quintessential black music.
Yes.
Black.
When you say black music, it's Maze featuring Frankie.
Yes, because they're black famous.
They are black. That's right.
If you ask 10 white people who was Frankie Beverly and Maze, you might get one that would know, but it don't matter. But yes,
come on, man.
Zero
Black happy feelings.
They embedded into our culture forever.
Yes.
Yo, let me explain to y'all something here for people watching. When Trey and Vern start singing and humming like this, they in a zone. You find an episode. There's an episode I got where I got them and Grap all doing a quartet going in. So that lets you know that they really feeling it right now.
Yeah, I mean, man,
you hear that intro, you hit Vern. If you hear that, look, you might as well put the grill out. You might as well, you know what I mean? Like all your second cousins and shit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yes. And roll out the, you know what I mean? Come on, man.
It's deeper than music because you just said it. That's Uncle Larry, Uncle Greg, God rest their souls. I'm getting emotional now because it's deeper than the music. And you just have to trust it.
It's spiritual thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, babe.
What you got, babe?
I just want a quick disclaimer because I'm an old head at heart. But every time I hear the Beyonce version of "Before I Let Go,"
hate it.
I'm pissed
I don't
off.
care if I'm in the mall. I'm very upset because y'all are not gonna replace that song. Like to what the brothers are saying. You know, I went to Morgan in '95. That song is coming on in the club in 1995, like it came out the other day, and everybody's singing it. The DJ could drop the, you know what I'm saying? Like people gotta understand this shit is spiritual for us, Beverly and Maze. So
absolutely.
Hey, Kill. So to Vegas's point, whenever I'm in the car with our 27-year-old daughter, and I hear the dun 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 dun, I look at her. And she said, "No, it's not Beyonce. It's Frankie Beverly and Maze." I'm like, "I raised you right."
Right.
That's what it is, bro. And I want people to if you take away anything from this app, and I love it just because already into it, it's what music is supposed to be about.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's about how you digest the music. From Vern talking about how Trey's music got him through, and Vern talking about getting emotional. This is what music is supposed to do, but you got to digest it, y'all. Y'all got to live with it for a minute. You got to, like, I just probably about 2 weeks ago was like, you know what? I'm going to give this comment 5 mics. Everybody was like, nigga, you old. We gave that shit 5 mics. Nigga, I got to digest my music, nigga. I'm old. You know what I mean? I got to give music a chance to live with me, enjoy it, feel it. Y'all be wanting to just throw 5 mics at shit. Like, shit come out at midnight at fucking 12:04. It's already 5 mics, and it's the album of the year. And all. You gotta digest the music, but this is what music is supposed to be. Music is supposed to give you a feeling. Music is supposed to make you be able to get through hard times. Music is supposed to be able to do that. And a lot of what's coming out now, some good bangers, but there's a difference between good bangers and good music.
It ain't this.
You know what I'm saying? So just for people watching, this is where when I be talking about old head shit, this is what I'm talking about. Digest the music. Live with the music. Allow the music to give you memories. Allow the music to take you back in time to think about a good time that was going on in your life. And to be honest, a lot of music I love right now that comes out, but it's not going to take me back to a good time in my life. You know what I mean? Unless I'm at the club or unless, you know, something like that. But a lot of the stuff that comes out is banging. But this is just an example of what music is supposed to do. This is the stuff that's going to get you in a hole. Because you see, the question is not, do you have classic bangers? Do you have classic songs? Do you have songs that when people throw on, they bring out emotion? You know what I mean? So that's kind of just it. So I'm loving how everything is going tonight because that's really what it's about.
Cool.
What's up, bro?
Fred, let me even add the golden time of day, man.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
And here's another point of Frankie Beverly. Their last hit was "I Can't Get Over You." Frankie Beverly made "I Can't Get Over You." That was
90.
I don't even know if it was that late.
88, 90.
It was over 30 years ago.
Yeah. So every year they've gone on tour.
Yes.
Awful stuff from 30 or 40 years ago, and nobody's. When your next album coming out?
Sell it out.
Sold out. Everybody got on all white.
1,000.
Everybody got on all white. Can your favorite artist do that 30 or 40 years after they drop that hot?
I know.
I'm just saying.
But you know what it is, bro? What it is
our cousin, bro. He our cousin.
Yes. That's Uncle Frankie, man.
Absolutely. When he passed away, it's losing a family member.
Yes.
It's losing someone embedded into the culture. Every cookout, every party, from here to 100 years from now, our legacy past us.
He's still here.
He's still here.
He's never going anywhere, man.
No.
And the thing is, too, for a lot of the newer artists, their goal isn't the longevity. You know, I talk to this about the kids that I work with. So many of them want to die young because they think they're gonna be Nipsey Hussle. They think they're gonna be Pop and they're gonna be revered. And I'm like, nigga, you be lucky if you get a fucking t-shirt and a fucking candlelight vigil. If we keeping it a buck with you, you're gonna get killed on Monday. People gonna cry. They're gonna bury you Thursday. Next Monday, niggas have moved on. You know what I mean? And again, the same way I feel like people make music like that. I'm just making music for right now. You know what I mean? You know, so the show we just did last week, we were talking about how like it's a song, and I'm like, yo, it's Oldie, it's West Side, it's Stove, but I don't even know whose song it is. I don't know the name of the song. I don't even know what album it's off of. We don't have that problem with EPMD. All these people we name, and we don't have the problem of, I don't even know the name of that Kanye song. Or I don't even know the name. You know, because it's something different about making music that's going to be around years.
I say Silky Soul. You know exactly what I'm talking.
Yes.
Yeah. So definitely Frankie Beverly. Next up, I got Outkast. We gonna go with the originality. No one was rapping like Cass. I mean, songs like, you know, Miss Jackson. I mean, just the honesty, the fact that these dudes, that hip hop at that point had probably been around 35 years. And nobody ever made a song about dealing with your baby mother or your baby's mother. His verse on Return of the Gangsta. I mean, Elevators. Just the realism that comes out with Cass. Classic albums. I mean, come on. Equiminize, in my opinion, the top 20 GOAT album ever for me. Ever. And Southern Playalistic. To be honest with you, the thing I love about Trey, EPMD, and Outkast, you could talk to different people, and different people have a different favorite album. You know what I mean? So when I was in Atlanta with Vernon, we did Apartment 5B pop up. He said Southern Player. I'm over here with Aquemini, somebody else. I know people who love Stankonia as their best album. You know, ATLians. It moves around. So you got that. I mean, Longevity Cash dropped in 92. Speakerbox Love Below's 2003. That's 5 albums in between that time. Big Boy is going on to drop 3 solo albums. I mean, 3000 is recognized as somebody who a lot of people believe is a top 10 GOAT MC. You know, if he just drops a verse, it's damn near the equivalent of somebody dropping an album. Classic songs, I mean, come on. Bombs Over Baghdad, Miss Jackson, Elevators, Players Ball, Rosa Parks, So Fresh, So Clean. And Legacy and Impact, to me, they helped to put the South on the map as far as hip-hop. They helped birth the Dungeon Family. And then, like I said, 3000, top 10 GOAT MC. I don't think he is, but people do believe he is. And Big Boy has 3 very dope solo albums. So I got Cass. Number 2, I'm going to throw the big joke on the table. I mean, Mary J. Blige. I mean, originality, OG bad girl singer, mixed hip-hop and R&B. I never forget the first time I heard someone singing over Top Billing. It was almost like that shit is allowed. Like, you could sing over that shit. Like, I couldn't even comprehend that. Classic albums, I mean, we'll just throw 2 on the table. What's the 411 in My Life? A lot of albums people don't talk about that 411 remix album. That was crazy because the remixes was just as crazy as the songs, if not crazier.
Yeah, my
Longevity.
About to say,
I mean, we can keep throwing them out on the table, but I was just doing the prerequisite of having 2 classic albums. Like, we could go Share My Word. I love Mary. I even love the Strength of a Woman album she dropped back in the day. 401 was 91. Good Morning Gorgeous was 2022. That's 31 years.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
It's a long ass time to be making music. Classic songs. I mean, y'all know Real Love, You Remind Me, Reminisce, Love No Limit, Be Happy, I Can Love You, Everything, Family Affair, The Impact. Impact, Legacy. I said see Miss Jones, see Mona Lisa, see Monifa, see Faith. And I mean, at the end of the day, she's the queen of hip hop soul. So,
hey man, so Kill, one reason why I love Mary J is because we grew up with her. I was a freshman in college when 411 came out, and to see her growth as an artist from then to dropping albums in 22 and 23, and she's a grown woman, and I love that. You know, she ain't trying to be the hot thought or whatever. She's a grown woman, and she's kind of like she's our I don't know, Diana Ross. We saw her growth and her elevation and evolution, man, and it's a beautiful thing that she's still relevant. I
always say that the song that I think really put her out there was the Not Gonna Cry off the Waiting Excel soundtrack. That's when that was the soundtrack to a lot of older women. Because for a while, Mary was just ours. Mary was just our generation. Our parents weren't messing with them. After that song, I remember my boss's wife even being like, yo, I want to go see Mary J. Blige. And they were in their 50s and 60s when we were like in our 40s, like 30s and 40s. So that song really became that anthem to, you know, those black women whose nigga was cheating on them and everything like that. So that definitely moved them forward. Vern, who you got up next for your Hall of Fame with hip hop?
We staying in Long Island. Let me see.
Yeah, I already knew where you were going.
Those guys right there in the yellow.
Yes, sir.
De La Soul, man. Again,
is that who you were talking about, Kel?
That's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, man. De La Soul. I'm 89. I'm in the 11th grade. Heavy D and De La Soul are pivotal for me because I know it's hard for y'all to believe, but I wasn't no hard rock man.
You wasn't on the block, bro. You wasn't out there moving, bro. You ain't built this shit brick by brick, man. You wasn't there.
I wasn't moving no weight. Yeah, but to hear these dudes be innovative and quirky and embracing their inner nerd, and what I learned as I got older, even like senior year of high school, even the thuggest, hardest nigga got some nerd in them, man. And so they embraced it, which helped me embrace my impact. Samples.
Skits,
sample clearances. Matter of fact, my daughter in her second year of law school, they was talking about De La and those samples. So yeah. Matter of fact, Trey, we reached out to you to ask some pointers or whatever about that. But yeah. No, you told me. I think you talked to her or y'all communicated.
Yeah. I did. Yeah. That was some years ago. Yeah.
Classic albums. I mean, 3 Feet High, De La Soul is Dead, Balloon Mind State, Stakes is High, and I'm throwing Grind Day. That is a beautiful album, bro. A beautiful album. Just dope. You start off with Grind Day. No, The Future first starts off, and then you end with Rock
Cocaine Flow.
Man. Innovative. Okay, 2 dope MCs with a different ends of the spectrum.
Underrated lyrically.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So underrated.
Nice.
Well, I think True Boy is underrated. A lot of people put Paz in a high standard,
up there, but they don't put
True Boy in there. And I think Dave deserves. Dave was always my favorite. And again, maybe it's by me not being a rapper. I never even really. I thought they both was the same. You know what I mean? And then when I get in Morgan and rappers would be around me, they're like, nah, but listen to how Paz is saying this, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, if I really look at it, but I never looked at those two and was like, oh, Paz is so much doper than Dave, or nothing like that.
Kill, we did a show, and I quoted a guy from Twitter. He said, Dave is the guy who could spit a bar, and you might not understand what he's saying, but you feel it because he felt it. It's hard to explain what I'm saying, but if you understand Dave, you know what I'm saying. I told somebody last week, man, I miss Dave, man. I miss Dave. Man.
Hey, Bird. Dave pretty much broke down the whole mid-90s hip-hop on his verse on Stakes is High.
Yes, I'm sick of
bitches taking ass. That whole verse, he killed. That whole verse pretty much broke down how a lot of people was feeling about where hip-hop was going at that time. And it was like a little civil war in hip-hop in 1996. And, the Roots did that, what they do.
What they do,
But De La Soul was right there in the middle of that shit. And Dave's verse was really about what was going on. Underrated verse.
Yes. And I mean, these dudes, they wanted, the industry wanted to paint them as Flower Child hippies. These niggas went on tour with NWA and throwing tables and chairs. And
you saw what Lil Sean said about them on Math Hop.
Yes.
De La Soul wasn't no suckers, my nigga.
No, not at all. Legacy, they stood against the gangster rappers and Jiggy and did their thing. They maintained their lane, stayed there and killed it. Originality, come on, man. Like you say, the skits, the crazy samples. Yeah. So
and it's almost not knowing what the fuck they was talking about. I heard potholes in my lawn. I remember being on the phone with a shorty and she like, yo, kid, what they talking about? I'm like, I don't fucking know what they talking about, but it sounds dope. Like, I don't know what potholes in my lawn mean.
Yes. Dope, man. So that's definitely mine in my
Anybody got beef with Daylight getting in?
Nope.
Hey, right there, Bird. Real quick, I know we might have talked before about that DJ Honda song "Trouble."
Oh my goodness, bro!
And also, Lil Monster, that I Am I Be on Pasta News started that verse off. I am Pasta News. I be the new generation of slaves. You know what I'm saying?
So
they had layers in their lyrics, bro.
De La Soul has the 3 most mature, grown songs ever. Trouble in the Water.
Talk about Millie.
Nah, I mean, I'm just talking about from me as a middle-aged man. Trouble in the Water.
Yeah.
I Am I Be, and Trying People, man.
People,
bruh.
Yeah.
I put that song on after Dave died. I was in the car and I was just crying, man.
You had to cry. You had to.
Yeah.
Playing that joint, you had to cry.
Yeah.
I did not play that record for that reason. I knew it.
They set you up on the album. They talking about like you heard that song "Trying," even how they introduced it. You know it's heavy.
Yeah, and crazy again. Dave did the same thing that Heavy D did. If you listen to his verse on "Trying People," he was like, "I'm like a modern day Jesus." basically on my tombstone, he say he did it for us. Yeah.
And not for nothing, one of my favorite De La songs, Millie pulled a pistol on Santa. You know, talking about child, molestation and all that stuff and everything like that, which was, and it was crazy because this is what I loved about hip hop. I love the beat. I love the song. It's just an incredible song. You know what I mean? And I remember seeing the title, like, Millie pulled a pistol on Santa. I'm like, the hell they talking about now? But, you hear the story. It's and I've always wondered if that story was true.
It's true. No, Pa said that came from somebody that they knew, a girl that they knew. Yeah, definitely.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, who you got on your R&B side?
I'm gonna go Toni.
Ooh, ain't no problem with that.
No problem with that.
No problem with that.
None.
I mean,
none.
Innovative, quirky. You hear the Church of God in Christ come out in their music. They were just some church boys who flipped to R&B, hits upon hits. Albums. I'm gonna pick Sons of Soul and House of Music.
House of Music, man.
Man, come on, bro. Just crazy.
Is that the one? Is that the one with Slow Wine on it?
No, that's Sons of Soul.
No, that's Sons of Soul. House of Music is the joint with
Holy Smoke and G Wiz.
Yeah, Holy Smoke and G Wiz, Still a Man, Loving You.
Yeah, Loving You had to be an ode to Uncle Maurice White because Raphael was in his Maurice White bag on that, man. You can see, this is what I love about great artists. Great artists don't think they invented oxygen. They are a continuation of the times going past. You can hear in their music that Bay Area, Sly and the Family Stone, Larry Graham and them, and it's just a continuation of what they started off of, man. So what other criteria that I need to hit here?
I mean, you got originality, you got the classic albums, you got the longevity. I mean, Tony's came out with Little Walter in 87. You know what I mean? House of Music, I want to say, was 96.
Little Walter.
You know what I'm saying? You got the classic songs, and then we could just go on some Just Me and You off the Boys in the Hood soundtrack, and Never Rain, whatever you want. Anniversary, which will be played until the world doesn't exist anymore. It's crazy. And then again, the legacy and impact is, Raphael Sadiq, is just, to me, one of the greatest, producers, musicians, writers of our generation.
D'Angelo.
His solo discography ain't no joke.
Nah. Man, one of the greatest, shortest songs in the history of music is that Castle.
That Castles,
Castle, man, woof. Just the musicality of them. You could tell they grew up playing instruments, and it comes out in their music, man. So
if you ever saw it, people watching Raphael Sadiq on the Breakfast Club from a couple of years ago, it was an amazing interview. But he talks about how the difference between New York and Oakland. It's like, you in New York, UMCs wanted to be on the corner. In Oakland, it was about playing your instrument. So for them, it was like the same way MCs would be in a cypher. Like, you wanted to be that nice on your instrument. You know what I mean? So it's an amazing interview. So definitely watch that. Both yours are good to go. Vern, Kel, what you got up next, man?
I'm gonna flip it from Vern to my De La Soul. I'm gonna Ice Cube.
Okay.
I thought he was in. I thought Ice Cube was in.
Not only NWA, not solo.
Okay.
Yeah, NWA's in the rock and roll.
Okay. Good. Great choice then. Excellent choice.
Yeah, I think obviously household name Impact, as you said, NWA, just West Coast, come to the East Coast. Got America's Most Wanted. Got Lethal Injection, Death Certificate. Obviously songs Today, America's Most Wanted, Niggas Love to Hate, Steady Mobbin'.
Shit, don't forget that Killer Well EP with that Jackin' for Beat. Give me that beat, fool.
Think about this.
Is that what you said?
Think about this, man. from back to back. Your debut was America's Most Wanted. Then you got a death certificate. You got that Kill at Will. You got Lethal Injection. You like, I mean, that's basically 4 projects back to back after help writing some shit on Straight Outta Compton. Like, you'll be hard pressed to see a run like that. You probably can count on one hand how many times you seen a run like that, bro.
That's true.
Yo, check.
What did you say, Trey?
No, you go.
I was gonna say, I was gonna ask the EP Killer. Was that the first hip hop EP? I can't even think. I'm trying to think. I can't think of EP.
I can't remember because I know Digital Underground had an EP out too. I can't, I'm 50 now, so I'm getting old, so I don't know which one came first, but it is one of the first hip hop EPs. It definitely is one of the first.
Right, that's true.
So,
go ahead.
You gonna say, Trey?
No. I just gotta in honor of this selection. America's Most. I don't know if everybody know that is like my favorite hip hop album of all time. People think I'm crazy. East Coast. That reaction.
But that's fair. That's fair.
I get that reaction. But
now, Vague, that's one of your favorite albums too, right, Vague?
Death Certificate.
Death Certificate. Okay.
But in honor of this selection, I got to do this. One of the greatest skits of all time. I never got gaffed. I used to do the gaff. Jack the motherfuckers on the Nissan trucks right in the drive-thru. They get your motherfucking food, leave it in the car, and they get out.
Yeah.
Yo, the funniest thing about America's Most Wanted, when I used to be in the hood, I would be singing Once Upon a Time in the Projects. Like, that's one of my favorite Ice Cube songs. And this nigga had once asked me, he said something about, like, he wanted to know if I was from that hood. I'm like, yo, dog, I don't bang. I write the good rhymes. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you ain't know what the fuck I was talking about. But, I mean, it's like the first that came to mind. Like, nah, nigga, I don't bang. I just write the good rhymes, man. The whole scenery reminded me of good time. Once upon a time in the projects. Come on, man.
Storytelling.
You had the record hold.
Right, man. I feel like it's something like, with MCs like Cube, because he's so talented with so many other things, that I feel like it's almost like the boy, I forgot the boy name, he played for the Magic. I think he was from Duke. He had like a 50-point game. They was like, yo, you got the ball, you got the sneakers, I'm gonna put him in the joint. I feel like with MCs like that, we gotta put him in a case, because it's kind of like, because the big three, because of the movies, because of all of that, it's kind of like people forget Cube was this one of the dopest MCs ever. And it's only to the fault of so many other things that he's been great at that you don't even look at that anymore. And it's like we almost have to be like, yo, you can't even say this nigga Cube name unless you're going to talk about his rhymes first. Talk about the big three, talk about the movies, talk about the acting. You got to talk about the MCing first. And I think that's kind of like the problem with people with Cube.
Top 5 greatest pens of all time.
No debate here.
I'm not mad at that.
Greatest pens of all time. His pen.
And when you're not, and Trey, when you're talking pen, you're not just stopping with the rhymes. You got to talk about Friday.
Right. And I ain't even getting into the movies. I'm just talking. We talking strictly about the records.
Hip-hop, right?
Top 5 greatest pens of all time. No debate. Whoever wanted to debate, let's have it.
Right. When we was working on Footsteps, would you say? Today was a good day.
Everybody knows the record. Everybody knows the record.
Everybody.
And the video was crazy. It was just, again, I feel like I don't know how we do it, but like, because he's so talented, it's just like people will think big three, are we there yet? Barbershop 1 through 8. You think about all these other things he did, but you're not thinking about America's Most Wanted, Jacking for Beats. When that came out, it was just like, yo.
Came out.
And then we got to remember, he has a potentially top 3 diss song of all time with No Vaseline. I had it number 1, but you can debate it being a top 5 diss song.
It could be number 1.
Any era of hip hop.
Number 1.
Yeah. Cool. And that's one person taking out a whole crew.
A whole crew.
Yeah. Vague, anything? I know Cube is your guy, Vague. Anything on Cube?
Nah, man. Y'all said it, man. Like he was just pretty. He was my favorite in NWA. He was pretty untouchable when it came to his solos, including the Predator album, which was very different. Like songs like "Tear This Motherfucker Up." He was saying, before the Rodney King verdict, he was saying what was going to happen. Then he made an album that was kind of like an anthem to the aftermath. Like the dude was just dope, man. Like I just like, and even like Jacket for Beats, like I'm so enamored by that song. Because even a little breakdown, like even if you're down with my crew, Jack, dude, I was like, this shit crazy. Like,
he was on one.
Right,
He was on.
Yeah, man. Great up. Who else you got up, Cal, for R&B?
R&B, I got Cameo.
oh shit. Ooh, okay.
Have you seen him live before?
Say it again.
Have you ever seen him live before?
I've never seen.
They were
Cameo
outstanding, bro. But go ahead.
I bet.
I ain't mean
I bet.
You old niggas gonna make me change my list because I got it.
Well, I had
a fire bag.
Why not? You know what I mean?
Straight. I had some others, but I was like, you know, since straight talking about Maze, I was like, you know, let me start with Cameo.
Oh yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
Word
Starr
up.
shit. God damn. Sorry.
Yeah. Back and forth. Single Life. Candy.
Ooh. Oh God.
Staple again. Candy the staple again.
Now exactly. So I'm right. You hear now what's the movie they're doing the
Best man.
Yes, man.
Yo, bro, She's Strange. Cameo's bass line.
Strange.
Oh my God.
Hold on, burn. How about this? Hanging downtown. Come on, man.
Yo, man.
Come on, man.
If I'm Single Life.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Yo. And it's crazy because a lot of people only know them for Word Up. You know what I mean? And I've actually had discussions. What happened?
Which is the worst song to me.
Yeah. Right. But the funny thing is that I've had conversations with people who have been like, Cameo was a one-hit wonder because all they knew was Word Up, and they kind of knew Candy, but they only knew Word Up. But I'm like, yo, there's so much funk in Cameo. When it was
Pro Jams,
yeah.
I mean, they got everything.
Yeah.
And doesn't burn from
I got no beef with that. I got zero beef with that at all. So yeah, shit. Anybody got beef with Cameo getting in?
Nope.
Okay. All right.
Him,
cool.
him and the red jock strap, they get in.
Yo, Vay, who you got up next, man? And here's the cool thing, because I know we gonna go around this one time because we almost at 2 hours already. We gonna have to come back for a part 2 for the other people. You know what I mean? Which is dope. I love this. Like, I love this being something I was talking to Kelv about. Like, maybe we do this every 2-3 months. We just come back with more people that, you know, we want to put in the hall. So, Vay, who you got up next on your hip hop side?
All right, on the hip hop side, I got Gangstar. I mean, talk about most classic albums. You talk about influence, production. You know, obviously the crews they birthed, right? Like, even when you look at what they did outside of the group, right? Like what Premier did with other artists was incredible, but also Guru brought that jazz and hip hop connection even closer. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of ways, when nobody was doing something like that, especially at that time. But again, you know, you got quotables, you got hits that, you know, maybe they didn't think those would be their biggest songs. You know, songs like The Wick wound up being a monster for them.
Yeah.
Longevity, right? Like, you know, I don't think, besides that first one, because my God, I'm not a fan. I ain't gonna front.
Vegas like, yo, Gangstar starts with Step in the Arena with me. I still think was the nice guy.
That's it. I don't go in. I don't go back there.
The fuck Juvenile Hell, right?
Right, Juvenile Hell. Like, that shit.
I got you.
Step in the Arena.
Yo, real quick, Vay, real quick. Cal gotta go. Cal, good looking, man. We gonna catch you next time with the rest of your joints, man. Appreciate you, man.
All right.
My bad, Vay. Keep going with that. But even with No More Mr. Nice Guy, the first time I heard Manifest, I was like, yo, this shit dope as hell. You know what I mean?
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one that made me interested in them, and Step in the Arena was like, oh shit. When I heard Just to Get a Rap, I was like, yo, what's this?
Yeah, that was it for me. Just to Get a Rap is like my favorite Gangstar joint ever, man.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like it's Gangstar similar to EPMD and Outkast. Some people have Moment of Truth. Some people have Daily Operation is my favorite. A lot of people I know have Hard to Earn. A lot of people have, I'm not mad at the owners. People was like, yo, the owners was whack. I was like, yo, the owners was tough as shit to me. Was it better than Moment of Truth? No, but not to mention it probably gave us the dopest posse because New Millennium with Who Got Guns, because that shit was crazy. You know what I mean? So
right. And one of the better posthumous albums, because that last album, you couldn't tell me who wasn't a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So yeah, Gangstar is like first ballot to me.
Oh hell yeah.
Since y'all made me alter my list because y'all want to go in the old bag. I go in the old bag. Right? Like I'll be listening to that shit all the time.
Let's go.
I'm gonna go with Rick James.
Yeah.
Like I love Rick James music. Like I think some people really, people were introduced to Rick James based off of the Chappelle. They might know a song or two, but the album Street Songs.
That cover. I remember being a shorty. That cover was just crazy to me, man.
That's
right. Like and even like, cause he has his hits or whatever, but even songs like Ghetto Life, like the way he's singing and what he's saying when I was a young boy growing up in the ghetto, like
hanging out on corners, singing with
right.
Hell yeah.
Rick James was a G, man. He was a G.
Yeah.
Right. He's kind of like, well, I ain't even gonna say it because it's. I know. I'll say it off. But nah, man, I remember like years ago doing the knowledge on his catalog, and I know songs like Mary Jane and stuff like that. Right. But like, Give It to Me, Baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when you look at the video, like he's animated. Now I know Unsung. I know his look was taken from another dude. I get it. I saw it. But and even almost like the personality was similar.
You gotta go see the play. You gotta go see the theater. There was a biography on stage.
With Stokely.
With Stokely. They address all that. All of that. Like, yeah, he straight jacked him. Like because he was opening up for Rick.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? He would see him in rehearsal, and then he would go on first and take his whole shit. Mm-hmm. Can I say him?
Yeah.
Prince.
Yeah.
Prince. If y'all don't know, Prince jacked Rick whole shit. Not to take away from his genius. Not to take away from his genius, but goddamn, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Rick James was the big homie.
Yeah,
he was.
He made that known too back then. He made that known back then.
Right. And when you look at it, they're two sides of the same coin and how they did things, right? Like what I was going to say, but now I'm gonna just say
Rick was brilliant, man.
I'm gonna just say it on camera, fuck it. But like my uncle was a pimp, and I ain't talking about back in the day. I'm talking about like recent,
right now.
He'll never see this because he probably don't even know how to use YouTube and shit. But I remember he loved Rick James, but I kind of knew why, because even though Rick James and Prince kind of had the same kind of thing, like with the girls and all of that and the type of songs they did, Rick James is more like the street version of that androgynous shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Yeah, he got all glitter on, but you see that nigga Boots with the fucking guitar and you know what I'm saying? And songs like Ghetto Life. But again, like, he's had so many records, he's wrote so many dope songs for people, put people on, like
didn't he write the Mary Jane Girls joints?
Mary Jane Girls,
Tina Marie.
Right.
You can stop right there.
You could literally you stop with that crew.
The Temptations. I mean, come on, man.
Temptations, right?
That's right. Because he was on Motown. You're right. Yep.
When they did that Ebony Eyes with Smokey,
with Smokey,
was legendary, man. Even the videos was epic, man.
And look, a testament to him being great, even sounded great on a song that's whack. right? When Rick James part comes into like party all the time, you like, wait a minute, this is a different song.
Yeah. It went up a
When
notch.
he's singing, this shit different. Like,
Right.
right. So yeah, Rick James pick.
All right, so who you got up next, bro?
Man, you know I'm in North Carolina, man, so I got to go with Lil Wayne, you know what I'm saying, as far as Hall of Fame, dog. I mean, what can I say? Nigga started at 14 years old, Hot Boys joints. Then he comes out with several solo albums before the Carter series, like I was trying to explain to these dudes on Twitter, when he had Lights Out and all of these shit like that. He was a big star before he was even 20 years old, especially in the South. You know what I'm saying? Like, people up north got onto Lil Wayne late. He was a star as a kid down here.
Hey, Tony, who did they say influenced Wayne? Dipset or something?
Kill the Kid first, then Dipset. And then I said, listen, Lights Out was 500,000 sold before Dipset even came out. You know, he had 2 albums that was damn near platinum before he even started hanging out with Jewels. That's another whole story for another time. But nevertheless, what the Hot Boys did with Lil Wayne, he has verses on and hooks on the Hot Boys joints. He comes out with his stellar solo career. Then he has one of the greatest mixtape runs in hip hop history. That's not even a debate. If you look at the Dedication series and all this shit, only 50 Cent and a couple other guys even had that kind of run as far as mixtape runs leading up to the Carter.
That was Wayne at his finest.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So look what Lil Wayne has done in the culture, his influence, whether you like it or not. After him, there was a lot of fake Lil Waynes, the same way there was a lot of fake Tupacs after Pac passed. So first ballad, Hot Boys, solo career, mixtape era, the huge hits. Wayne is Wayne. Whether you don't have to like his style, but he is who he is.
Yeah, I mean, that's Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, man. And R&B, man, like my sleeper, man, is Maxwell. Maxwell.
Ain't no sleeper.
I mean, yeah, I'm just saying, I don't even think that's a sleeper, nigga. I'm expecting you to throw some low ball out there, but yeah, Max is definitely Hall of Fame.
Maxwell is from the school and a student of your Sam Cooks, your Marvin Gaye's, all these guys before him. You know what I'm saying? And Force Classics, Urban Hang Swing, Embryo, just fantastic albums. He produced a lot of shit himself, even though he also worked with Sweetback, who was Sade's band. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that Maxwell is a great producer and great writer outside of him being a fantastic singer and fantastic performer, especially early Maxwell in the 90s. Used to dance and cut splits and all kind of shit in his concerts. You know what I'm saying? And then also a sleeper song. Sweetback had an album came out in 1996. And he had a song called Softly on there. It mimics your Prince. It's like a Prince dedication to me. The way his vocals are on that song, Softly. That's it right there, man. That's an amazing album. He has a dope song on there. Quick side note, Bahama Deal has a dope song on there called All Natural. Man, it's just Amel LaRue has 2 tracks on there, Gaze, and another joint on there, You Arise, I believe. So yeah, man, just dope shit. But Maxwell and Lil Wayne for me.
I think the other thing with Maxwell, we just went to see him in concert 2 weeks ago. That's 28 years after Urban Hang Suite came out, and he was at the Capital One. So this is a full-fledged basketball stadium. This ain't you at the Howard or you at SOBs, but 28 years later, you're still packing out a stadium. Wow. And I think that last Black Summer Night, the middle one, may have dropped like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, that was a while.
So you still packing out stadiums and ain't had an album in 6 years. And he came out to the single. Y'all know he just dropped a little Al Green single. I forgot the name of it, but he came out to that. The crowd was going crazy. Yeah, he dropped the single. Still Beautiful. Is that it? Always. It just put Maxwell in your Apple Music. It's gonna come up, but it's one of my favorite Al Green songs. And 50 years old is kicking my ass because I can't remember nothing. But yeah, he came out to that, and the crowd lost their shit. So it's just so much that he can do. Trey, who you got up next, man? And then we gonna have to put a pause on until part 2.
Okay.
Simply Beautiful. Thank you, Beck. Simply Beautiful. The Al Green joint. He just brought that out.
Yep.
And I mean, like the fact that he came out to that and the ovation just from that was crazy. Because I'm like, damn, y'all niggas even know this? Like, you know, but you know, yeah, Maxwell is Maxwell, man.
Maxwell is Maxwell.
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah. So hip hop, I got summer '86. Heard this on the radio in Philly and it changed the game forever. Make them clap to this. Our appreciation for your support. Make them clap to this. Thank you, DJs. And then I came in the door. Come on, man. The rest is just like you could just, you know, come on, man. My name is Rakim, my love. All the A stands for Rob. Switch it around. It still comes out off.
He not in yet?
No.
Nah.
Nope.
It's a travesty and a shame.
It probably be a minute for Rakim based on.
Nah,
they got,
I can see him never getting in.
He got nominated and didn't get the votes.
Yeah.
They got nominated twice and got snubbed twice.
That's crazy.
Because he's not like the popular, you know, radio friendly type. So we just gonna have to pump him up on our side.
It's crazy because he's revered in the culture. It's weird.
That's why hip hop need to get their own Hall of Fame.
But Tone, that's it right there. Like I said, Tone, when we were starting the show, I was saying we got to do this because I feel like even 50 years later, we still trying to get down with them. Like we're getting invited to become part of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like, so I feel like it's still like we still trying to get down with them. You know what I mean? Where we need our own stuff because I could definitely see Rakim and Eric B never getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah. He literally changed the game. Like literally, like everything changed. Everything. Like think about it. If you was around back then and you knew the music that was coming out, the show and Slick Rick and UTFO and all that shit, and then here comes this shit.
So Trey, is it safe to say in hip hop is pre-Rakim, post-Rakim?
Yes.
The bridge. The bridge.
So Run DMC, DMC said they had just got back home from tour, and his man said, "Man, you need to listen to this." They threw on that Rakim. He was like, "Yo, is our career over?"
Yes,
I remember that.
Yeah.
Like that. He said he knew the game was going to change forever after this guy.
DMC did say that.
Paid for, follow the leader, let the rhythm hit him. I mean, you got Mahogany, you got
Even Don't Sweat the Technique. Even Don't Sweat the Technique had some gems on it.
Like, come on, man. Like,
Go to Ledge.
Rhyme patterns, rhyme styles, voice cadence, tone. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of that shit changed with this. Everything. So, yes, babe.
What I like most about Rakim, because it's easy to just say, oh, he had a new style, right? Like some people just chalk it up to that. But we all know, like, to pattern your rhyme style after the way John Coltrane plays.
Yeah, that's just nuts.
That's different level. Like when in his book, when he talked about how he wrote his rhymes, I never wrote rhymes like that. He writing it like he's writing music.
Yeah,
he's writing notes.
Saxophone player.
Right. So that.
Hey, Blake, you remember when he was explaining that shit to KRS-One, and KRS-One was sitting there like, God damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, it blew KRS-One. I mean, we're talking about KRS-One. He's sitting there looking at Rakim like, that's some alien shit.
It was different. And it blew everybody's mind off the rip. Like
the way he explained it.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like, what's going on here?
Yeah. And I mean, too, the remix for In the Ghetto was crazy. That joint was crazy.
18 Ghetto was crazy.
From
Microphone Fame. Yeah, No Lyrics
of Fury is my
Lyrics of Fury
forever. Like, that is the shit I play. I still play that to this day. Like, between that and Men at Work, like, I play that shit damn near every day.
Yeah, no Omega. And to think that we may have never gotten it if Freddie Fox would have showed up. If Freddie showed up and we wouldn't, we would have gotten Rakim the way we got him. We may have gotten Rakim.
I love Bumping Knuckles, I'm glad that nigga didn't show up.
And speaking of Rakim, there's a very dope book, very hard to find too. Rakim Told Me by Brian Coleman. He turned this into Check the Technique. So I'm always talking about the Check the Technique series, which is a book of liner notes for a lot of the hip hop albums from the 80s and the 90s we love. But this was the first one he came out with.
This shit, man.
This is out a while ago. I was always on the internet somewhere. I was always in some OK Player, the breaks.com, something. And this came out. Very dope book. It talks all about how Paid in Full got made, Ultramagnetic, Criminal Beatdown, Special Ed, Slick Rick's first album, De La's first album, Biz's first album. So if you out there, you may not be able to find this, but Check the Technique. The first series has all these in it. So, but this joint right there, and I know no one's disagreeing with Rakim getting in. And Trey, who you got on your R&B side of things?
This right here is just a matter of time. I don't know what the hell they waiting on. Can You Stand the Rain? If It Isn't Love, I'm Still in Love. Just the Telephone Man, Cool It Now, Candy Girl, Hit Me Off, Any Heartbreak, Boys the Men, You're Not My Kind of Girl, Is This the Man, Lost in Love, Popcorn Love, Count Me Out. Come on, man, My Secret. I mean, what the fuck? What are they waiting on?
Yeah, I have no idea how they're not in the rock world.
Man. What? Who?
I mean, the spinoff groups, the solo albums. I mean, just the BBD, the Bobby Browns, the Johnny Gills. I mean,
they should have been here.
Jealous Girl, come on, man. Like, come on, I'm coming home. Like, who's in charge? Who's in charge?
Hey, coming home, my shit, bro.
Bro, that's the song right there, dude.
Yeah,
on the album. Yeah.
I mean,
who's in charge? That's all I got, man.
I don't know, man. And here's the thing, Bree. Still get people excited, man. I just saw them probably like a year ago at the Capital One Center. Like, they still get people excited, babe. We just did this on the dance video show with If It Isn't Love. You know what I mean? Niggas all still know the moves to that. Like, you know,
just in Vegas, residency in Vegas.
Yeah.
They out Jackson 5, man.
I mean, that's what it is. That's what it is, Tom. Like I talked about Mary, we grew up with her. We grew up with New Edition, and they are our Jackson 5, our Temptation, our Four Tops. They are a continuum of those groups that our parents grew up on. So that's why they're revered.
Right.
What are we talking about? I don't understand.
Yeah, I think the other thing too, when we talked about this on the F, where we talked about how Johnny joining the group really helped take them to another level, you know, and really brought like the grown man shit into it. You know what I mean? I don't think you can make Can You Stand the Rain the same way. I don't know if you can make Boys the Men without Johnny. Like, Johnny brought some maturity to take it from Popcorn Love to Can You Stand the Rain. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's how all those things came together. We gonna have to put a pin in this, man. And we only got through two groups apiece. You know what I mean? Which is a beautiful thing, because it was the conversations that were hitting even harder. I do want to throw in one more, because someone asked me about this, and I want to have a discussion. I don't want to hold y'all too much longer. I have Big Daddy Kane getting into my Hall of Fame. Now, a lot of younger people have a problem, because not a problem, but they ask, Kill, the longevity. I don't see it. Y'all talk about he only had these 2 classic albums for these 2 years, but the way that I break this down is, number one, originality. No human being was rhyming like Kane when he came out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if we give him the same respect that we gave Rakim. I don't know if he changed the way people rhyme, but no one was rhyming like him. Now that's what I can say.
He did change the way people look, because he was a smooth cat.
Right. The cuts in the eyebrows, the high top fades. Exactly.
Change the game with that.
So that's the originality. Classic albums, Long Live the Kane, and it's a Big Daddy thing. Now, with the longevity, I want to talk about the importance of a 12-inch, because a lot of people don't understand. The 12-inch for Raw came out, if I'm not mistaken, early 87. Raw could hold you down for 4 to 5 months. Like, Trey, I can remember Lady B just playing Raw all the time. And we didn't get tired of this shit. Like, I don't know what this new shit is. Like, you know, L was on Twitter and he deleted it because niggas were like, all right, well, what's next? And I was like, I just gave y'all a song. Like, calm the fuck down. Like, yo, like, L is from this mindset of like, yo, this song gonna hold me down for 3 months. No, L. song, you drop a song now, that shit hold you down for a week. You better keep them coming. So we got to go back to 87 where that 12-inch was almost damn near like an album. Then came the 12-inch for Set It Off, which to me, once that, that just took it to a whole nother level because another part of Kane's originality was rapping at high beats per minute. So it's not more so rhyming quick like a Jay-Z, like a da-da-da-da, not like per se that, but just the beat, the BPMs, the beat per minutes were so high. When you listen to Set It Off, that gotta be at least 112, 113.
And he did it with clarity. That's the thing.
Right. And then after we get the 12-inch for Set It Off, we come back with the 12-inch for Ain't No Half Steppin', which was just a monster single. You know what I mean? Another part of originality was, for me at least, he brought Islam to hip hop. Because I remember the first time I heard Ain't No Half Step, I'm like, yo, what's he saying? Assalamu alaikum. Like, what's that? I didn't know what that was at that time. So, him and Rakim, I remember the Move the Crowd video, and Ryan had the seven of the Crescents. You know what I mean? So again, that's the originality. Then after that, you got the 12-inch for Wrath of Kane, which was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Then you still get the 12-inch for Lean On. Mm-hmm. So again, I understand by people saying, well, he really only had this run from 87 to, and people say 88 and 89, but I'm like, you gotta take 12-inch back to 87. And even with the Taste of Chocolate, there were some joints on there. You know what I mean? There was some bangers on there, so we can't.
You know what? In my opinion, its impact is bigger than his longevity. And sometimes that happens. It's like Slick Rick. Slick Rick didn't have the longevity, but the impact and the influence of what he did with Great Adventures and shit like that, it lasted for the whole decade of the 90s. A lot of people, even Outkast was influenced by Slick Rick. Nas was. A lot of people was. But his window was very short because he got in trouble and got locked up. You
right. But then too, Tone, I want people to understand that in the 80s, 87 to 89, 87 to 90 is not an easy feat. That's only 3 years. But I feel like in 80 hip hop, that shit is like dog years. Like we could double that down in the 80s. So it's like 3-year run. But when you're looking at these 12 inches, and then when you're talking about both those albums, that to me are 5 mic classics. Both. You know what I mean? Smooth Operator. Call it Mr. Welfare. Warm It Up, Kane. You know what I mean? Pimp It Ain't Easy.
Shit. Warm It Up, Kane.
Warm It Up, Kane.
Is it Young Gifted and Black?
Another victory?
Freestyle. Another victory. Young Gifted and Black. Mad niggas still be freestyling off of that joint. So, again, the stuff that Kane was doing, and not for nothing, when we talked about when you talked about Ghost and other people putting up bricks, you got to understand that second Kane album, I think there's only one Marley Marl song on there. You know what I mean? And most of the time, you leave Marley Marl, you may fail. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Kane was able to go on and do that. The originality of being like this sex symbol, and not for nothing. I joke about it all the time. That nigga was Rosa Parks for dark skinned niggas, like I'm dead ass. Like, I went into high school, 8th grade. I was like, I'm not going outside all summer. I am not going to high school, 9th grade, darker than I am. And I went, and it was just like night and day. This nigga Rosa Parks for black niggas, like dark skinned niggas. All of a sudden, women wanted dark skinned dudes. Back in before Kane, I was like on some old nigga, you look like Flavor Flav. I'm like, God damn, I look like Flavor Flav. Like I'm that black. Like, and then to come back because of Kane and Eddie, like again, when you talk about them Chappelle stories, there was a time when Eddie Murphy was the darkest nigga in the world. You know what I mean? When you looked at your TV and your TV screen, Kane made being dark skinned popular. You know what I mean? And it's sad to have to say that, but yes, dark-skinned niggas had to come into style. Because prior to that, it was Al B. Short. It was all pretty boy light-skinned motherfuckers. And that's a fact. We say, Trey?
Nah, so Gail Sayers played 5 years. You're talking about short windows. Gail Sayers played 5 years. Only 5 years. But those 5 years were so dynamic, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So I make that comparison with Kane.
Yeah.
Window was short, but when he was doing it at a high level, he was at least top 3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing that we also can't forget about Kane, and I know we gave him hell for it at the time, but it was the precursor to Jay-Z. Silk shirts, bottles of champagne. Yeah, the Don't Curse video was like, yo, fuck is Kane wearing? He was ahead of his time, because then you fast forward 5 years and you got Jay-Z wearing the same shit on a speedboat, and it's the shit. You know,
bad boy buffing all the niggas.
But you didn't mention probably to me the greatest asset about Kane, the shows.
The dancing.
Man,
you talk about one of the better showmen as far as being an MC. You know, it don't get no better than Kane.
no.
Right.
And he does it by himself.
LL Cool J said that Kane was his favorite MC.
Come on, man. On the stage, you're not fucking with Kane.
No, I saw Kane about 10 years ago. It might have been 93. Might as well have been 91 or 92. How he was moving on that sage.
Yeah. And I mean, even Breath Control, just from the verses with KRS. I'm like, bro, I can't spit that. Like you said, it's still crystal clear. It's no mumbling. It's just like he has a little step. Vague, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, like in the other episode we did, to Trey's point about the dancing, and to your point about Taste the Chocolate, go look up the video for his heart beating.
I did.
Performing live, getting busy with the dances, routines, solos. Shit is crazy, and dress fly the whole time. So.
Kane is a fantastic MC, man.
I mean, the truck jewelry, the trench coat, just it was always like, damn, the haircuts, the cameo, like Kane was just a boy, man. He was that dude. So I just wanted to throw that one in, just because a lot of younger people ask me, like, I get it, but I don't get it.
Let me say this to you. Kane been living down here in North Carolina for about 20-some years. And I've ran into him plenty of times with a knife and everything. I remember one time, my first time meeting him, just real quick. He was, real talk, he was everything I expected. Cool and humble, smooth. He was Kane, you know what I'm saying? Like, I walked away like, word, Kane is that nigga. You meet certain niggas, you be like, he that nigga, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was cool and humble, man. And I appreciate him. I let him know, I said, man, growing up, man, real talk, you a legend in the culture, bro. We always trying to be like you. And he was just laughing. We conversated for a minute, man. But yeah, he was what I expected him to be, man. So salute to Kane, man. Smooth nigga, man.
The humility tone that I think some of that comes from is because, and I worry if our rappers nowadays can have that level of humility because of social media. Like, Kane didn't understand how much he meant to us.
Yeah, it's just real.
You know what I mean? You don't know that. You come to a city, you do a show, you shake some hands, you sign some autographs, you keep it moving.
Right.
But if Kane could wake up every day and have 100 tweets and 100 IG posts and, oh, Kane, you the best, you the best, you the best, you changed my life, I don't know if that humility is still there. You know what I mean? And I think that's why we see rappers, when you say something about a rapper on Twitter and they want to clap back, it's like, dog, I just said it ain't 5 mics. Like, that's all. Like, nigga, I still like you. I'm a fan. I brought all your shit. Like, and it's like, nah, motherfucker, you don't know shit. And it's like, god damn, nigga, like, when did rappers get so sensitive?
Hey, look, 4 mics ain't bad.
But they got so sensitive because if you woke up every day and you had 100+ people telling you the shit every single day of your life, Tony, if I told you Enter the Dome, it's a good podcast, you probably like, motherfucker, it's the best guy. Like, me too. Like, nobody, and Ye said one of these lines, and you talked about Ye being a legend. He has a lot of quotables. It's hard to be humble when you stunting on a jumbotron.
Yeah.
It's hard to be humble when you go state to state and you got 30,000 people saying every word and you got them in the palm of your hand, bro. It's hard to be humble. So it's beautiful to hear that about Kane. And one of the biggest things I loved about Kane back in the day, how he was in Slick Rick's video, Teenage Love, and he played the punk. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I ain't above, Rick coming out like he about to, catch a body, with you creeping with his girl.
Rick was about that shit, though.
Right. But what I'm just saying is, that would never happen nowadays. I can't see Conway being like Bodie be like, yo, Conway, come be in my video, and I'm act like I'm robbing you, and they be like, yeah, cool. Yeah. Like, nah, nigga, I ain't doing that shit, nigga. You ain't robbing me, motherfucker. Like the fact that the biggest rap at the time and he was like this in the video, like, nah, don't hit me, Rick. Like, nah, don't do it to me. Like, that's just the humility and just being hip hop, being fun at those times. And I always love Kane just popping up in the self-destruction video when light just turns him around. You know, it's like boom, like damn, Kane's there. Like Kane was just that nigga. You know what I mean? And that's really what Kane was. We gonna have to get back to this, bro, because this is amazing. I want more stories. Trey, where can they get at you? For all these people who think it was just many faces and that's it, you gotta let them know where they can get the second album live from the 215. You got that out now. You got Glory. You got everything. Tell them where they could get all the stuff on Trey.
Oh man, again, TracyLeeMusic.com, TraceYlee music.com. Like you said, everything from Many Faces to 215 to ESQ to Expect Unexpected to Glory to Different, you know what I'm saying, which is the latest work. You can go right there and get the whole discography, man. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of y'all, most of y'all, don't even know I got 6 albums. And I'm about to put out numbers 7 and 8 this year, so stay tuned. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, let me say something real quick.
You saying 2024 or you saying 2025?
My bad. Next year, 2025, 2 albums. Look
Okay.
for it. I'm gonna just leave it at that. You know what I'm saying?
Let me say this straight. First of all, I like all your joints, but I'm gonna say this real quick. I ride to Big Willie style a lot.
Woo!
Yo, Seth, get away from my deli. Get away from my deli. But go ahead, but I love that joint, man. I play it a lot, man. Real talk.
Nah, I appreciate that, man.
Word.
Appreciate the love for real. But yeah,
Nah,
Tracy.
And again, the thing that I love more importantly than anything that is crazy that I could call this man my brother. It's still amazing to me that I could call him because, and me and Evan both told this story because to go back to what Vern was saying, after I graduated Morgan in 96, I moved to Atlanta trying to get on with the music. And Trey, my theme song was Living on the Edge.
Yeah.
That was my theme song because he says in that, I refuse to go back to Philly until my shit's together.
Yeah.
And no matter how bad stuff we get in ATL, I was like, yo, I can't quit. I'm not going back to Philly until my shit's together. You know what I mean? And again, this is what music is supposed to be about. You know, when we talk about the impact, like it's great to impact the sales, it's great to impact other MCs and that skills. But to me, the real impact is when people can say things like that. Like, yo, your song was my theme song because I refuse to go back to Philly. You know what I mean? And that's what the real impact of music should be.
Hey, that brings me back to a line. You know what I'm saying? I hate doing this by myself, but I said, no doubt I want to see my CD all sold out. But it's still love if niggas got the dub. Meaning, you know what I'm saying? If you just get to the music, that's really all I'm concerned about. However you got to get to it. Whether you buy it, whether you listen through a friend, blah, but at least the effort is there to get to the music because then you're allowing the music to have some type of impact on you because you're making the effort to even get to it in the first place where you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Right. So salute to y'all, man.
And I know I've said this before, Trey, but again, Many Faces, to me, it was what Nelly did with Sweatsuit before Nelly did that with Sweatsuit. You know.
You know what, too, Phil?
What's that?
For people watching this episode, we showing Trey Lee love. This nigga did a track with Biggie Smalls, nigga, when Biggie was alive.
And we didn't even talk about that. We didn't even get on that.
Not Born Again, not some shit that people put together. This nigga did a track with Biggie and was rocking with Biggie. So this is real talk and showing the love for it. They got love from legends in the game back in the 90s. That's real talk.
Toe to toe.
Right.
That's real shit. Toe to toe with this nigga.
Yeah.
Keep your hands high. Y'all niggas go put it on YouTube. Trey Lee, Biggie Smalls.
Yeah.
Man, I love you guys, man. I love you.
Man, we just speaking real shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just real shit. Like I said, like, yo, and we got to talk about next week's show because that's going to be great. Tone, where can they get at you, bro? Enter the Dome. Give them all the information.
Just Tone the Dome on Twitter. You see everything from there, niggas. Come holler at me.
All right, Vague, you got on that bench to the turtle joint right there. Why don't you talk a little bit about Willmatic?
Nice.
It will forever. Yeah, man. Well, first of all, Trey, you already know, man. In the club, you know we get down like nigga. Trust me. Dark rooms in DC and all of that. So I don't even have to go any further. You know, on the commercial side, I was there with it, but and also real songs were big. No made up shit. So,
no made up shit.
You know, it is what it is. But yeah, yo, this is a song off of the album me and Kill did. Kill did all the production, called Willmatic. It's about my cousin Ill Will. You might know Nas. I was a little homie right behind them guys. Grew up around those guys. You know, all the shit we talk about, you know, they loved it, especially Kane. The album was my way of giving people a closer look to who he was, to his family, his personality. You know what I'm saying? Where some of it you got from Nas, but I decided to kind of drill down on the different sides of him, from the humorous side to the street side, which is Bench to the Turtle. And you know, and also speak about some things with myself, because I know some people are like, oh, wait a minute, you know, Nas and rhyme and blah blah blah. But I talk to why I don't rhyme full time, you know, because of decisions made at the time. So it's a very deep album. I'm glad I made it. My Aunt Versi was excited, which is Ill Will's mother, was excited to hear it. Loved all the love it got. We had a bunch of merch, including this, and when all the proceeds went to her, she was happy for that. And I mean, we ain't even talking about like no crazy, like, oh, Jay-Z just put a bill on it. Like, you know, she didn't give a shit. Like, you know, if you got an extra $200, $300 in your pocket, she was appreciative.
That's right.
You know, and for those who don't know, I am from Brooklyn, so don't get it twisted. But I was in Queensbridge like every weekend growing up. So a lot of my hip hop history, I was there for some really pivotal moments. Like I was there for when The Bridge Is Over dropped. I was the only nigga excited when I went there. You know, like, yo, yeah, I heard this shit. Like, oh, yeah. I guess they acting like they don't like hip hop no more. But nah, man, it's just a very dope project. Me and Kill got 6 projects together, including a new project called Bed-Stuy Vintage. So if you like hip hop, you know, check us out on Bandcamp at vegasworldinc.bandcamp.com or any of the digital streaming platforms to check out the music. So,
all right. That Bed-Stuy Vintage is good too, man.
What happened?
That Bed-Stuy Vintage shit is very dope.
Thanks.
Bro, where can they get at you, good brother?
Instagram at V the Lone Closer, and on Twitter at VChandler10.
All right, and you already know this with me, Kill 889, Twitter, IG. Y'all know the Bookworm and me. New book I just copied. Well, it's not new, but I just saw it. Somebody gave me the link to it. So, The Birth of Rap Radio in New York City. You know what I mean? Mr. Magic Amali in here. So, very dope book. Got it on Amazon. So, again, you know, we need these things, man. We need to be able to pass these books down from generation to generation. And I know, even though I buy everything on my iPad, I still buy a hard copy too, because I just want to still have a library. It's crazy. All them years of cribs, guess what? We never saw in nobody's crib? A fucking library. The bookcase, let alone a library. But
that's my next mission. I'm building a library in this house.
Yeah, so. Like, because and again, you come in the studio, is books everywhere. Trey, I was trying to pull out Glory, but it's at the bottom of all these books over here.
All good.
Hey, what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say, yeah, I started building a library a long time ago, but then I realized a bunch of Iceberg Slim and Donald Goins just was kind of saying that a nigga only likes certain kinds of books. So,
hey, it's all good, bro. It's all good. All right, y'all. I'm gonna check y'all next week, good peoples.